Wait, you're about?
Were you about to say something inappropriate?
No, I was gonna go get something inappropriate.
Oh, well, you can go get it.
Okay, well, you just open.
Yeah. Hey, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna go solo layout. Ooh, that solo layout's pretty ugly. Sorry, I don't have my whole background set up yet. Still moving in, still getting this whole place figured out. But AC Lee here from the AC Lee and Parlay Pete podcast, watching the good old Lakers and Golden State basketball game, coming live to you from an undisclosed location where we meet up virtually. Anyways, happy to have you here today. What do we talk about? You know, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. And I think it's very important that we make everyone aware of our mental health. And I think we should utilize social media in order to do that so the whole world knows exactly what triggers us, what upsets us, so they can know to watch it when they come around us and take good care of our mental health. I think we should continue to just scroll and look at women who are unattainable, look at bodies that are unattainable, look at guys who are just simps in lives and talk about all they do for their women, but they're single. I think we should look at people with a lot of money and worship them and can drive ourselves deeper into the abyss because we know we'll never, ever, 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 ever be as rich as Floyd or as famous as Beyonce or Rihanna. Okay. I think this Mental Health Awareness Month, we need to put our mental health to the back burner and just continue to just float in social media all day and complain about mental health on social media, not realizing that social media is the cause of many of our mental health issues. We should hang out in the comments a lot. We should read captions so we know exactly what people feel, instead of just looking at the pictures. And we should stay isolated. Don't go out nowhere. Don't hang out with your friends. Don't have fun. No Zoom meetups. No FaceTime meetups. None of that. Hey, look, that wedding you're going to next weekend, don't go. You call the Boinks and say, hey, we're not coming. Sorry. Too many people there. Got to socially distance. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I don't want to be triggered by any of you people. Hey, Parlay Pete, what's up?
I don't know. I had to go work on my mental health real quick by getting some of this juice. Because that helps calm me down. Whenever my mental health is starting to take over, this antidepressant is really what kicks me into another gear.
Is it similar to this juice we have here?
It looks like it. Looks like we're very similar. LeBron James, he doesn't look like he ever gets depressed.
No, he doesn't. Not when you're hitting fadeaway backboard threes when the shot clock's winding down.
And when you already have a 1-0 lead in a series against the defending champs, and you're really going to have them on the ropes, you can take them out today.
So let me be honest real quick. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I was being a little facetious with that open. But I did that to kind of just, give you a little South Park joke, a little Family Guy joke that, hey, man, mental health awareness, it's very important and serious. But I'll always say it's on you to manage your mental health. Figure out what your triggers are, work through them. And whatever it is that you need to get you in a place that you need to be, work on it. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't need to know. I don't really care. Just like I don't care if your ankle's hurting or you have a headache. I don't really care about your mental health. I just care that you maintain it in a way that is healthy. Just like I care about your physical health. And for most of you people, I actually don't care too much about either because I don't know you or I don't spend enough time with you for you to be on the top of my mind. I hope that you take care of it, but I promise you, this is about all you're going to get from me about working towards it, unless I have your phone number and we actually communicate on somewhat of a regular basis. What are your thoughts on Mental Health Awareness Month, Parlay Pete?
Golly, I think it's like anything else. Whenever we throw something into a month, whether it's Women's History, Black History, what's next month going to be?
Juneteenth.
Well, but that's a holiday. That's a day. I'm talking about when we start dedicating months to these things. We have Military Appreciation Month in October, right? Or is that breast cancer awareness?
It's I know it's breast cancer. there's a lot of months each month.
Uh-huh.
I've stopped trying to keep up with the list. I just
Right.
wait for somebody to announce it on their podcast, and then I'll say, okay, let's add it to the notes.
Right.
Jared Vanderbilt hurt his knee. Looked like he hyperextended that bad boy. Moses Moody.
Similar to one Michael Harris. Did you see Michael Harris's hyperextension?
No.
He was like running through first base and like, man, he did like a fucking somersault almost. It was crazy. It looked bad. Like, I'm glad he was okay. Like, it was nothing. It was no ACL, no nothing. I mean, but gosh, it looked bad.
It sounds bad. Look at Vanderbilt run. He's done. Get him out of there. He can't guard stuff with that knee.
He did a great job in game 1 too.
He did. Jordan Poole really blew it, but we're not there yet. How was your week, man?
It's been good. You know, had to move a couple of things around. I was supposed to, you know, this LA thing, I feel like it's just been keeps getting put on the back burner on my end. But the lady that was supposed to have been there, I was supposed to have gone the week before, but then I was supposed to have gone on this Tuesday, and then that got pushed back. And then I was supposed to even kind of be there tomorrow, but I told them, I said, well, look, I'll just come early next week because tomorrow's Cinco de Mayo. And I didn't say it literally like that, but I was just like, yeah. And I knew then once I knew I was headed to a birthday party in DC, I was like, yeah, that just sounds like a lot for me. So I was just like, I'll just go early next week. That way it doesn't creep into this weekend because obviously I know we've got a big weekend ahead of us next weekend. But aside from that, you know, been keeping busy, but good.
That's good. Finals are over. Looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dean?
I don't even think part-time graduate students can make the dean's list. Got to be full-time.
Well, are you going to make your dean's list?
Yeah. You met
your expectations at a high level?
Absolutely.
That's good for mental health. You know that, right?
Who you telling? An A and a B.
I like that.
You have to go over each semester. 1A, 1B.
Hey, that averages out to about a B plus, A minus.
Exactly. Let's see. We got the Boink wedding coming up this week, next week. How do you want to do that? Because I'm driving up Thursday afternoon. Thinking Wednesday, or do we take a week off? Oh, no, it's the playoffs.
I think we can really play it by ear on that Tuesday. And the reason I say it is because Tuesday, I'm going to be in LA.
That's right.
So, yeah. So if it's like one of those things where it's like nothing significant aside, because you got to think, will we have an elimination by then? I guess maybe Phoenix could be bounced.
Yeah.
They could be bounced.
I think we have to get an elimination besides Phoenix, because I think when we get to Phoenix and we talk about that series, I kind of know where my feelings are on it, but I mean, Denver's so boring.
Mm-hmm. But boy, did they play some good basketball.
They do. God almighty. Takes me back to 99 in San Antonio. Just better.
Why does it take you back to 99 in San Antonio?
Oh,
you're saying those Spurs.
Yeah. Not that particular Spurs. I'm just saying the Spurs.
Yeah. Well, you want to know what the thing with the Spurs was too? Everybody knew that they were just such a good unit. And with this one, yeah, like Duncan won 2 MVPs. Jokic obviously's got 2. And Duncan won his back-to-back, didn't he?
I don't know. I know he won one in, 07?
No, he didn't win in 07. I think he was 02, 03.
No, he won a championship in 07. I'm sorry.
02, 03.
Okay.
MVP. I'm pretty sure he was back-to-back. He was back-to-back just like him.
2-time MVP.
Mm-hmm.
3-time finals MVP.
But were the MVPs back-to-back? 02, 03?
His MVPs, yep, 02, 03.
Okay.
Look at
I
you.
just want to make sure I was I want to make sure I was cooking with a little bit of grease here. All right, my intel, everything's coming together. We're good. We're good to go. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Tim Duncan, one of his former assistant coaches got canned today. I can't say I'm shocked. He was on the hot seat, won a championship. Kind of disappointed last year, but Chris Middleton was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Really disappointed this year. Outside, in a vacuum, I'd go, yeah, he probably deserved another year or two off of a championship. But if you were on the hot seat before you won the championship, and the reason why most would put you on the hot seat was because you didn't make adjustments. You didn't make in-game adjustments. I don't really think you make great season adjustments. You played the way that you played. Even in some games prior to the championship, Giannis wouldn't play big minutes. He's playing his 33, he's playing his 36. It's like, but y'all are losing.
Right.
You're losing this playoff series. Give him the 42. In the big series, Bron plays 45 minutes a game. When Cleveland was, 2018? He was playing like 46, 47 a game. This man's coming out to 30 seconds before halftime because, okay, nothing's going on here. Let me get to the locker room a step quicker.
Right.
And in this past matchup, he had it like we responded live to Giannis last week. We didn't get to talk about his bullshit comments that he made, saying that like there's no failure in sports. It's like, man, there's a scoreboard, dude. If in any profession.
Now, look, I understood where he was coming from.
I do too.
Because he broke it down pretty well, just in a sense of, if you didn't win today, does that mean that the whole, like, everything's been a failure up until that point because of today? And so, like, I get that. And then, of course, if he wants to play it by that book in terms of in sports, and I guess he meant really men's sports, when you play at that high of a level, you're so rich. It really, like, is there really that bad day? Look, and look, LeBron did it once too. After they lost to the Mavericks, he was questioned about it. And he said, he said that people still got to go back and live their lives. He's like, I get to go home and live with my family, and do that. Like, it's so like, but we knew that it was really a subliminal.
Hey, y'all are broke. I'm rich as fuck.
I'm rich as fuck. Like, I don't think y'all realize that. Like, yeah, I wish that I won, but like, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, life's still really good over here. So, like, and sometimes we forget that it is a game. It's just a game. It really is just a game.
Yeah, but I think the reporter's question was specifically talking about that season, and did the Bucks have a failure of a season? Yes. And guess what? They fired their head coach. Now, after the fact, we found out, unfortunately, that Coach Budenholzer's brother passed away during the series, which could have clouded his judgment. It may not have been his best self. Prayers and condolences to the family. Don't want to be insensitive about what he was dealing with. But I tell you that Bucks fans, Bucks brass, probably some of the Bucks players are like, yeah, dog, we're here to win though. And I know we've talked about that on the pod before. The sad reality is, just because there's tragedy going on in one person's life doesn't mean that everyone else's world stops on them. But the last thing I'll say before I throw it back over to you with Bud, because I'm okay with Bud being fired. Again, I don't run the team. It's not my money. I'm not Bud, so I'm not really affected by it. This doesn't happen without Giannis signing off on it. You don't fire Bud without Giannis signing off on it. And I think that Giannis, he said something very clever in his press conference. He said he wished he could have guarded Jimmy Butler more, but he did what Coach said. He said it, he said this before, and some would say, "Hey, bro, just guard him. You don't need Coach to tell you to guard him." Clay is cooking today, by the way.
I love it. Well, you know why I love it.
Yeah. Some would say that, Giannis, you just switch off on him, but him calling out some of the strategic stuff in the press conference lets me know he wasn't happy with the game plan, but he was a good teammate and he just executed what Coach told him to execute.
Right. Yeah, I think that Bud is somewhat of a scapegoat in this situation for what happened this season. But obviously, as we know, being Hawks fans and living here, um, had a really arguably the most successful run of any Hawks coach ever. Um, you know, and I get it. Nate took us to the Eastern. Well, I mean, Bud did too, but Nate actually won some games. And I just think that in this situation, you're 2 years removed from a title. You lost last year in 7 to Miami, right? No, they lost to Boston in 7.
Boston.
So you took Boston 7. You lost that series. What was damn near a coin flip, really.
Yep.
Obviously, the year you do win the championship, you're a Kevin Durant, one size down and shoe away from being fired then, but it didn't happen at the end of the day. His foot was that size, and his foot was on the line, so that breathed life into them. This year, you had the best record in the league. Arguably, you could argue maybe their best team, even including the championship team. Maybe their best team, the best form of that group was this year.
Some would say that.
I would for sure. They haven't announced the all defensive teams, but the expectation is that you've basically got 3 all defensive players, runner up for defensive player of the year. Giannis could have easily won MVP this year too. His numbers were just as good, if not better, low key, than Embiid's. And you got bounced in 5 games, including, 2 losses at home. So not a good look at all, but like at the same time, I just think that I look at it this way. The circumstances surrounding it, from him losing his brother, we have no idea how close they were. That could have been his best friend. I'd be heartbroken if I lost, any of my brothers, but certainly Justice, right? Like if it's somebody that close to me. I'm close to all my brothers like that too.
I know,
like,
Justice like
I hang out with Justice more than anyone. So I don't know if that's how that was for him. He could have lost his best friend, and you grow up your whole life, with a sibling, and so that's tough to have to adjust and get back to life. Now, look, the world doesn't stop because somebody dies. We know that. It doesn't matter who it is. Now, it kind of did for Michael Jackson for a little bit, but not really. We still all have moved on from Michael Jackson dying.
Well, what about Queen Elizabeth? It stopped for her in England.
And in England. Now, Michael Jackson, the internet got turned off. For a brief period, Google and shit was not working, right? And but point being, I guess this is what I'm saying. You add in that, and then you add in the fact that Giannis misses 2 games. You win one of those games that he doesn't play in. Giannis clearly wasn't 100% in game 4 either. And so there were adjustments that Bud did not make that he should have made. Like, for instance, when Miami is making this comeback, why don't you call the timeout? Like, why do you let them get it, to where they're up 1 and then you call the time? Why didn't you call it when they cut it to 6 and you were up 13? Like, there are little things like that absolutely you put on the coach. I don't think that he deserved to get fired because it was year 5. Like, I don't know. I felt like he deserved at least one more year with that group, but clearly ownership felt different, and they think that they were going to get similar results if they had stuck with him. But now my question is, who do you get to be the coach then? Ime's off the table. I get it. Nick Nurse is about the only viable within the NBA circle we know is here, and it's going to be an attractive job from the standpoint of this team is ready to win, but it puts a lot of pressure on whomever it is that they do in fact hire. And I just don't know who they could hire. Like who is the front runner for a job like this, considering everything that we know? Who is it? Who's the front runner? I need to wipe this.
I'm sure Luke Walton is sitting around somewhere waiting on a job.
Are they going to get Phil Jackson out? Like, I mean, what are they going to do? I know they don't want Jeff. There's no way they want Jeff. Mark Jackson, they don't want Mark. Like who do you get? Who's this top assistant out here that's sitting around that you could hire that's been this big name that's been holding and waiting on jobs? I mean, can you poach Pop? Like, I mean, what are you going to do, I guess is my question. Who can you steal from a team? Mike Brown already took the job. I know that you got Kenny Atkinson, but is that really who you want to replace Coach Bud with? One of his former assistants? Probably not. So I guess that's my question. Who do you hire? Who's up next? Who's a better coach than Bud that you can hire? Oh man, Clay is on something else tonight.
Maybe we get your man's off of NBA TV who coached the Hawks. We go back to the Hawks.
Larry Drew?
No, the bald dude who just got fired before Nate McMillan.
Lloyd Pierce, I doubt it.
We go Lloyd Pierce, we go Nate McMillan.
Are they going to make a call to Jay Wright or something and be like, because they kind of almost got to get kind of somewhat of a splash type hire if you're getting rid of Bud. I mean, I always have considered Bud top 5.
Maybe Nick Nurse is interested. And maybe that's why
he's about the only one that you could think of.
And maybe that's why they were comfortable firing Bud, because Nurse maybe said he was interested.
He's about the only person I could think of that would make sense, because elsewhere, like I said, Ime would have made sense. I think Ime could have worked there, but like he's hired now. So, I mean, I don't know who you hired. I guess that's my thing. Like, who are you going to hire?
I don't know, but maybe they just said, hey, we're going in a different direction because we know your direction is not the right direction.
Does Spo listen? I mean, like, I'm just curious. Like, Spo's not moving from South Beach to Milwaukee. Like,
Spo's not going to leave that culture either. Like, why would you leave somewhere where you've been since what? 09? 08, 09?
As head coach. He's been in that organization as a video coordinator since the 90s. So
I mean, as a head coach, though, he's been in his head coaching job for 15 years?
Longer than that. 07, I think. Because he took over as soon as Pat stepped down, and Pat stepped down like a year or two after the championship.
Well, that's just getting Stan Van out of the.
Well, I was about to say, do you get Stan Van Gundy? I think Stan Van Gundy's ran his course in the league as a head coach now.
I would agree.
After his Detroit and New Orleans stuff, I feel like he's done with head coaching in the
Spo looks old. Like, Spo looks old now. Yeah, he's been a head coach since 08, so he's been in that job for 15 years. Why would I leave a job that I've been in for 15 years to take a job where they fired? Well, they've been through 5 coaches since Spo's had his job.
Insert the Vince McMahon gif / meme.
Oh, I was thinking that you would.
The money. I mean, the money changes a lot of things. If they were like by far the highest paid head coach of all time, he'd leave. Because I would.
Y'all got a price, huh?
Hey, if you're telling me you want me to coach this basketball team, yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe if the Lakers win it all? I mean, Frank Vogel. Like, I mean, who the fuck are they gonna get in there? Like, Rick Carlisle? Will Rick Carlisle be like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave Indiana? Because he's a good coach, but he's got a shitty situation going on there. Like, I think that the options are so limited.
These foul calls are getting weird in this game.
Oh, I don't care. I hit my bet. I'm gonna hit it.
It's not even about like me even choosing a side with them. They're just
bad officiating.
They're getting real ticky tacky, and when I start to see games get ticky tacky, I get skeptical. Well, AD has 4.5 boards, 3 fouls. We just let Draymond take off to the basket like that? What you doing, LeBron? Slide over, bro.
Yeah, man.
Well, yeah, you hit your first half.
Yes, sir. I caught it at put about $2,300 on it. So we're raking in $4,100 plus 175 Warriors live. First half money. Feels good. It'll pay for a couple of things. I'll tell you that much.
Bro, Bron just watched Draymond just drive like.
But anyways,
let's put a ball in this whole thing so we can talk about teams that are still in the playoffs. I don't think losers deserve to get talked about this long.
No, they don't have to. I just think that Bud's a really good coach, and he'll land on his feet. Somebody else will hire him. He will get a job. So if he wants to coach next year, he might want to take the year off. Maybe this was a devastating loss like that. So
maybe he'll go do a year of media and really drive his price up.
you mean what do they call it? The Gruden theory?
Do the Mark Jackson?
Well, there are two different theories. The Mark Jackson theory is, you're in the locker room preaching, and then you're not even practicing what you're preaching, and you've got this young, talented team, and you get them on the come up, and then you just never get a fucking head coaching job ever again. But the Gruden theory is every year somebody wants you, and you just wait for the right opportunity. And his right opportunity was to move to Las Vegas and to coach a team he's already coached and is familiar with everything, and they paid him handsomely. He became like the richest NFL coach ever.
And then he got out.
And all he did was win one Super Bowl. It's not like he won like 3, 4. It's not like he's Jimmy Johnson or something, right? Like, I mean, Jimmy only won 2, but still, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, Jimmy built something. But, hey, it's halftime of Lakers-Warriors. You just hit your bet. Lakers up 1-0. AD had a hell of a game in game one. They had really no answers for him in the first half. Steph, 6 threes. Clay, 6 threes. Jordan Poole, 6 threes. Jordan Poole takes an ill-advised shot, if you ask me, with 8 seconds left from 31 feet. Lakers get the ball up 3, and that's kind of the game. The biggest thing I saw in that game is what Magic Johnson talked about when he came to the Lakers as the president. He said, you don't beat the Warriors trying to beat the Warriors. You beat the Warriors by getting long, athletic, physical basketball players, and you try to out-physical them. It worked in game one.
Absolutely.
In game two, Clay is lights out. 19 in the first half. And he's efficient. So, 2 is always more than 3. 3 is always more than 2. Anthony Davis isn't playing great so far. He's in foul trouble, and he only has 4 points. Obviously, the Warriors has changed up how they approached him. Kevon Looney was out with an illness, so he didn't start. They started to Michael Green instead. But if you watch the end of that game, the Warriors had better better on offense and better on defense once they pulled Kevon Looney out of the game down the stretch when they made that 14-0 run where Darvin Ham did not call a timeout. But again, Lakers survived game one, and we got 11-point game right now going into the half. It's been Warriors had a crazy second quarter. Nip and tuck. I still got Lakers winning the series in 6. Probably, Pete. What are you thinking about the series?
I hate to disagree with you like that, but that's exactly how I called it before the series got started. I liked them in 6, and I liked them in game 1. I really did. Because the biggest question was, like you said, if Magic says that you beat them with strength, length, and strength, essentially, then
big and long.
Yeah, who no pause. Who the fuck's guarding Anthony Davis? Seriously, these are real questions. These are legitimate questions. Who's guarding the best? Who you could argue is the best young player on the who's guarding him? There is no answer. And then even when you do that, who's guarding LeBron? These are legitimate questions. I feel like in certain series, everybody's like, okay, this person's going to get his. Like in this series for the Lakers, it's one of those. Steph is kind of low-key going to get his. He's struggling a little bit today, but Clay's picking up the slack. So, some guys are going to get theirs. Steph is going to average 30 for this series. He's going to get his. He just is. He gets too many touches. He's too good of a shooter. He's going to get his. But where do you limit them? Clay, Wiggins. You know what I mean? Jordan Poole. But Jordan Poole will kill himself, right? So, he's kind of a guy that'll hang himself, hang himself kind of like our faux interview with Terry Fontenot on what Ritter's leash is going to be like. He'll hang himself. So we're not. You don't have to really worry about that as the Lakers. But for the Lakers, you've got the size advantage pretty much. you're practically as athletic in reality. You're really just as athletic as they are. They're kind of old too. LeBron is really the only old head on the team, anyways. Everybody else is like 30 and under. I mean, how old is Dennis Schroeder? 30, maybe?
Yeah.
He might be younger than that. Like the Lakers are still a young team. They're not even like old like that. And so, and I think that was a big part of what it is that they did at the trade deadline. They got rid of the older players.
29.
Yeah, so they got rid of the older players. You know,
they
got
Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverly, the locker room cancers.
Yeah, the mouse in the locker room.
Hey, we still should get rings even though we ain't on the team no more.
Isn't that funny that he's gonna get one?
It is, but you know what?
Well, if they do it all.
Do you think Pat Bev meant that, or he was just getting some clicks to the podcast?
Clicks.
I feel like the competitor that Pat Beverly is, he wouldn't want the ring if he wasn't out there on the court to earn it.
If you weren't, I mean, does Ron Acuna not accept his championship ring? He wasn't a part of the playoff run either. He's
still on the roster, though. He's still on the roster.
Well, whose fault is it that you got traded? I mean, what can you do about getting traded? Like,
I mean,
you didn't ask to get traded. You got traded.
Well, maybe he wanted to get traded.
Maybe he did. I'm just saying. I don't think that Russell Westbrook necessarily wanted to leave.
Look at this bad halftime show they got out here. They just tried out a terrible halftime show at ESPN.
These guys' suits suck. Stephen A is doing this thing. I mean, Will Bonds is all right.
Yeah, Will Bonds.
I don't know. I don't like his whatever this shit is. Yeah, that shit looks terrible. But the suit itself with the cashmere kind of turtleneck is all right. But I don't like Stephen A. I hate the black. I hate that shit.
Yeah, I don't like the light with the black guts like that.
And Jalen, his suit's not even that bad. It's not even that bad. It's just this nigga's hairline is distracting us from everything about.
Right, he has too much Beijing in his hair, too much Beijing in his beard. Stephen A is probably one of the most poorly dressed, highly paid people on TV.
Yeah, these guys dress pretty bad, and it's as if they haven't had money for a long time. These guys have had money for a while, so they're not new to money. They've had it for a minute. And
Stephen A looks like the old head that steps out in the baggy jeans, the big North Carolina A&T or Central, whichever one he went to. I'm sorry, Stephen A. I'm not gonna look it up either. Hoodie, and his New York hat, and some dingy forces. Not dirty, not too dusty, but you know how your white forces get off white before Virgil RIP.
Yeah,
that's what I think. How Stephen A's just dresses. You know how the Morehouse old heads be the ones who get the racing jacket.
Yeah. But these guys, they've had money too long and they live in New York. Like Stephen A probably lives in New York City. There's plenty of good tailors up there, I'm sure. So,
but he's from Hollis. He's from Hollis, Queens, man. The money ain't gonna change him.
That's where my daughter's mother's from. She's from there.
Oh dang!
I swear to God, she goes to Hollis Deli and everything. That's exactly where she's from. So I've been over there. I know what it looks like. And so I don't give a fuck where you're from. You can be from Albany, Georgia. You get some money. Now look, country niggas gonna dress like country niggas. I get that. But nah, man, when you've been on TV this long, you've been making this much money. ESPN should have been like, hey man, Bob Iger should have came up to Stephen A and been like, man, you're a top guy. Man, let me introduce you to my tailor. I don't fucking know. Will Bond, somebody that's been doing this long enough. Perk don't. None of these dudes dress for shit on there.
I've got nothing for you. I can't. At least over there at Fox, Shannon keep that drip on. I don't always like it.
Shannon dresses better than a lot of them. I tell you, Strahan never looks stupid. But Strahan's also on TV more than all of them.
He's on Good Morning America.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's on TV more than all.
You think Strahan could put that bullshit on Good Morning America and get to say good morning to America.
Well, they'd be like, man, this nigga did not have a good morning. So why is he trying to tell me good morning? He didn't have a good morning because clearly that nigga got dressed in the dark. You know what I mean?
Hey, Michael, you really came up. You went from just doing the studio show on Fox, mornings with Michael and Kelly. And then how that he kind of just left without telling her.
Right.
And now we brought you to Good Morning America because we really like what you're doing. We're giving you these interviews that nobody really wants to hear from you, but they're doing great numbers because we're Good Morning America.
Right.
Come out dressed like Steve Harvey again. Dress like Stephen A. again. Well, we'll send you back. Let's get to some more playoff matchups. In the West Coast, we got Suns in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a little bit about it earlier. Kind of boring. Did we get this on camera? If you talking about what Book and Katie need to do, or is that pre-production, or do you even remember?
We were pre-production.
Okay. What will it take for Kevin Durant and Devin Booker to knock the series up at 2?
Minimum, and we're talking this is a minimum nightly 60 combined. I mean, I just don't see it any other way. Chris Paul is going to be done for the series. You were already really thin, on the bench, and maybe your best bench player now becomes a starter himself in Cameron Payne. One of those guys is going to pretty much have to be on the floor at all times. So when one gets rested, he takes a 3-minute breather, then you bring the other one back on, and then the other one takes a breath for 3 minutes, then he comes back on. It's going to take a Herculean effort. And a guy like Ayton's going to have to chip in 20 and also have a couple games, man, where he holds Jokic to under 20, 17 points, something like that. Yeah, he's going to have to disrupt the game a little bit more. He's going to have to do more. Like, they're going to have to do more.
Think he's going to have to, be a bit more aggressive on the boards and not just stand out of bounds and watch him, just ready to take the ball out?
Yeah, pretty much.
I get a feeling that DeAndre Ayton doesn't want to be there. I kind of got that feeling when he signed his contract.
Get-go.
Yeah. But what really brought it out to me was when he threw that terrible pass to Chris Paul. Then starts yelling at Chris Paul to catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, bro, you threw it pretty high and wide. There's no way in hell Chris Paul catches that pass. But you're mad now. You don't like Chris Paul. Yeah. I'm calling it now. DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul are out of there at the end of this year.
They're both gone. Yeah.
Yeah, they're out of there.
It would only make sense, and it's unfortunate. CP3 is going to go ringless more than likely, unless I'm sure somebody would pick him up next year for one last ride, right? But the team
might as well go to Charlotte, retire out of North Carolina.
I could see,
or a veteran president in New Orleans. That would actually be a better move for him.
It would be, but certainly he could, with the assumption that Kyrie's gone, he could go to Dallas and play with Luka, and it would probably be a better fit for a player like Luka to play with Chris Paul, similar to how it was for Devin Booker. But Chris Paul, he's going to play in 50 games, so it's like give or take, and then he'll probably break down by the first round, second round playoffs. So you can do that, or I'll even give you a dark horse. He goes to LA, either LA, depending on what happens with Westbrook.
Fair. Well, the Clippers only can pay Westbrook like $3.8 million. They got to clear up some cap. Maybe we get a little sign and trade action. Kyrie and CP3 reunite Kyrie out with Katie and
wasn't that kind of what they were trying to do anyways initially? Originally that was what the trade was going to be. Chris Paul.
Rumor has it.
Yeah. So who knows? That could come to fruition, and then Mark can at least recoup something in the deal. I don't know what, but he could recoup something, I guess.
He's already gotten what he got what he wanted. Cap space. He was trying to unload salary.
Well, Aiden's going to go because whatever they trade Aiden for is going to be their bench, essentially. Like, so he's going to get traded for whatever the bench will become.
I wonder who would want Aiden.
Indiana did, and obviously they just paid. Indiana paid Miles Turner, so now the money would match up. You trade him and Hield, and maybe another guy, like just a guy, Ish Smith's type guy, like a guy, and then like you make that work, and you know they have probably 1 year deals left for both of them because even his extension was like a 2 year extension, something wild like that. But he got paid
like a 3 year total.
Yeah, and so something like that works. Buddy Hield certainly becomes your bench player that can play, the 2 and maybe the 3. Miles Turner becomes your center. You got Harkenstein. I don't know. They're in a tough situation regardless.
But I think Phoenix made the KD move, saying, "Let's see what we can do this year." But this is a move for the next season when we can actually go into free agency, have another trade deadline to build a team around KD and Devin Booker the way that they need it.
Right.
Let's going over to the East. Philly, Boston, game 1. James Harden goes crazy, 45 points. Boston was terrible in the fourth quarter. Malcolm Brogdon led the team in shots, 5 shots. Jaylen Brown just kind of disconnected. He was like, "Fuck y'all niggas, I'm out of here." Then we got game 2. We bring back Joel Embiid, the MVP Joel Embiid with a new Rolex from a former MVP in James Harden. Joel looked like he was coming back from a knee injury. I saw him.
3 rebounds. 3 rebounds.
5 blocks.
3 rebounds. He was good defensively. He honestly looked great. I thought he was there for rim protecting and everything, but Marcus Smart was having his way. Those guys stepped up. Brogdon stepped up, played really well. Obviously, Tatum wasn't there, and Brown was kind of, normal Jaylen Brown type thing. Jaylen Brown didn't have this spectacular game, but he played really well.
He had 25, but he came out aggressive.
Yeah, he had his type of game.
Tatum was 1 for 7.
7 points.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, 4 or 5 fouls, something like that. This is what I think kind of about this series, though, in general. If Philly doesn't capitalize on their home court by going up 3-1, the series is over in 6. Because Boston's better than them. They are better than them. I think that they need James Harden to come out and play a similar game to game 1, but to work that with Embiid being normal regular season Embiid. They need that. They need to, I hate to say it like this, they need to Kobe and Shaq the thing, man. That's how they're going to get it done. They need to Kobe and Shaq this thing.
I really think what they need to do is they need to say, James, get yours early, get going, and then start working the big fella and start working Joel Embiid on less of the isolation post-ups and the pick and roll. You play James this game and you get going, and then once we bench James, we start running through you. But run through James, he's healthy. And let him get in a rhythm and not think. Because James gets weird when he's thinking about what he should do.
And then let me tell you, too, another thing. Paul Reed, he's looked pretty good overall. And I'm not saying let's, take Embiid out more, but I think you can trust him a little bit more, especially when you're running that unit where Harden's the one on the floor and Embiid is on. You can really kind of trust him a little bit. He played really well, man, in game 1, and he played well in game 4 against the Nets when he had to step up. He looked good as a replacement. He reminded me a lot of Naz Reid prior to.
Warriors are winning this game.
For sure.
Did you see that? Did you see that terrible foul call on LeBron?
Yeah. Well, look who they got calling the game.
Scott Foster.
What's this black dude's name? You know the black dude, man.
Yeah, I saw his name down.
That nigga's calling the game.
When
I don't know if Scott Foster's calling game.
No, because he would be the head guy.
Yeah.
You know, when you get some of those institutional NBA referees calling games, you start to believe it's entertainment more than it's a sport.
You know what I took?
What's up?
If
Molly?
Rui Hachimura scores 5 more points, he was plus 105. He has 14 in the first half. He's actually played really well off the bench, but all he needs is 5 more. It was plus 105.
It's not the worst bet you've made this week.
Certainly not. But I parlayed it with the Dallas Stars. I can't get enough of parlays. That's why they call me Parlay Pete. Matter of fact, I actually meant to change my name because I did it on IG. It's Playoff Pete right now. Yeah, it's Playoff Pete because we're in the playoffs.
I thought that was very clever, by the way.
Once playoffs began, once I got off to a really hot start. So like I was like, okay, it's playoff time. Yeah. But this is when the games matter and when you should know kind of what's going to happen, which is why even for game one, when I called you, I said, hey, man, I think I'm about to throw 5 bands on the Lakers because they were still plus money. And they won the game. They ended up winning the game. So they were plus odds even though they were up at the half. I think they were only up 2, something like that. Oh, yeah, this one's over. Hey, you want to know what's going to happen? It's going to be one of those ones where a lot of people don't realize this. The Warriors have been the best team in the NBA in the third quarter all year. All year, that's their quarter. If they get this thing to about 20,
that's why you don't want to give up that bad
a little bit. But it's going to be a lot of missing shots, and then they're just going to pull them with like 8 minutes left, and then it's going to be one of those type of things. And then Rui's going to be in the game. Shooting shots.
How much you want to talk about the Heat in Miami? I mean, the Heat and the Knicks.
Let's get into it because I think Jimmy's ankle clearly is going to be a big part of the series. If I had to pick, I actually kind of like Miami to still win the series. I wouldn't be shocked if the Knicks did win. Jalen Brunson, man, I mean, talk about such an underrated player and pickup and underappreciated in Dallas too. Like, I think I'm starting to truly understand the brilliance of his game more and more when I watch him. He's such a timely player and unselfish. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He's such
you should be learning about this.
What?
Luka's a bad teammate. You can't play with him. He's not a bad basketball player, but his style of play is just not good for other players.
Maybe, man. I just
like his leap shouldn't be this. Oh, yeah, it's over, buddy. It's over here.
Well, Clay's not missing.
Clay's still cooking. Okay, there goes George Kittle.
I was about to say, who's he sitting? Oh, that was Sam Darnold he was sitting next to. You saw that, right?
I didn't make it out.
If you rewind it, it's Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold should not get.
Where's Debo at? Where's Trent Williams? Why is it always the white guys? And Jimmy. I guess
why is Sam Darnold getting courtside seats?
Because he's with Kittle. The same reason Sauce Gardner got courtside with Aaron Rodgers. And look, I get it. Sauce is defensive rookie of the year, bright future ahead of him. I get that. But he's still not anyone. He still is enough. He was still on a losing football team at the end of the day. Aaron Rodgers is a 4-time MVP.
You're not going to compare Sauce Gardner to Sam Darnold.
Well, and I won't compare Aaron Rodgers to George Kittle, but like at the same time,
I get it.
Plus, Kittle's already established. Is Sauce Gardner established in New York? No. Aaron Rodgers hadn't even played a game, but because he's established, he's worldwide established. Aaron Rodgers is arguably the greatest quarterback of our generation for real. If we want to talk about, I mean, Peyton, of course, but like we talk about the last 10 years.
Look here.
It's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has been the best quarterback. To watch was better. He's better than Tom Brady. Watching it. If you watch football, he was better. He's better than Tom. He didn't win like Tom, but he was better than Tom.
Agreed. So who do you think is going to be the MVP of this series, Brunson or Butler?
it's gonna all lay on his rehab on that ankle.
You know, New York showed a little bit of grit in game 2. I think that game shouldn't have been that close, and that's what scares me about the series. Miami, heat culture. What more can I say?
I like Miami in 7. Because I think the Knicks do grab one in Miami, and then I think that they trade the home games to where they both win at home for 5 and 6, and then I think Miami. I think Jimmy shows up in 7.
You can't. I couldn't comfortably bet against Jimmy Butler in a game 7 versus that Knicks team. Do you really think Julius Randle is gonna do something?
It will be the most important game in Knicks history since 1999, Game 1 of the NBA Finals. It would be the most important game in Knicks history since they played the Spurs in the NBA Finals.
I mean, I think every game they're playing right now is the most important game since the finals. Because
think about it, they went to round 2 with Melo and Amari. They went to round 2. They played the Heat though, so they weren't beating the Heat. That team wasn't going to beat that Heat team.
Who got Joe Montana? It doesn't even look like Joe Montana.
Joe's not on the floor.
That's bullshit. We got CMC.
But if they show him, they got to show him. He's sitting right next to him. Okay, they're all sitting next to each other.
Yeah, but
they didn't even show Sam Darnold. Think about it. They didn't even give Sam.
Why would they?
Who the fuck is Sam Darnold for real? But he's down there. He's sitting right next to him.
He's probably a Lakers fan. He's from San Clemente. He's from SoCal.
Well, he's a USC guy.
That part.
Yeah.
First time I think I've ever said that part. We'll talk a little. Want to poke the bear again? Talk a little Dylan Brooks versus Shams Charania.
Yeah, let's give him 2 minutes of time. He's really not worth our breath. Obviously, I totally believe Shams' report, of course, but I think we all knew that like he wasn't going to be back. What were they going to re-up him for? They paid Ja, they paid Jaren. They need another player there, so he's not worth sucking in that money, even to be a trade piece, in my opinion. Like, so let him walk. You know, you Steven Adams was down, and so was his name's always slipping my mind.
Yeah, Brandon Clark.
Yeah, they had 2 contributors down. I mean, so I think that they'll be okay if those guys can stay healthy, but they need to add another piece. They need another player. They are the type of team that could benefit for trading with us for like DeAndre Hunter. Like they could just, and I'm not saying DeAndre Hunter's this game changer, but to add like a dude like that on the team would help them.
A wing scorer.
A wing that could give you 17 that's supposed to be one of the best defensive one of the best perimeter defenders. So supposed to be like one of those type of dudes. Yeah. And he fits kind of that identity, and he's young.
You know who they need?
Draymond.
Paul George.
Well, think about it. And they wanted KD, but if they want Paul George, they'd have to most certainly part with Jaren Jackson.
Well, yeah, I got to make.
And the question will be, would that be worth it? It could be. It could be. If you're able to supplant Jaren Jackson by getting another, like let's say, I don't know, let's say the Hawks are like, fuck it, we'll give you Capella type shit, or I don't know, Onyeka. I don't think the Hawks would trade Onyeka Okongwu, but like, and I would say John Collins, but like
nobody wants him.
Exactly. I don't think somebody will want him. Somebody is gonna want him. But like at what price? What are you getting in return for him? When you start talking about, yeah, we'll give you 2 seconds in a bench player, that's not really good for the Hawks. Like
that's what I mean by nobody wants him.
Yeah, nobody's giving up something for him. Like especially if they have to take on that contract.
Yeah, you're not getting a Jarrett Vanderbilt in that deal.
But see, the Lakers are going to be
travel. Like they do not call the Steph Curry travel.
Does that upset you?
Yeah, a little bit. Jermichael Green has 13 points, by the way, 3 of 6 from 3.
So there we go. Well, that's what we talked about pre-production. I was like, well, what's he going to do? Is he going to give him a 17-8 type of game? I guess the fuck he is. I mean,
Look at the replay. That's bad. That's bad.
But he's wide open.
I'm talking about the travel. Damn the pass.
Oh, well, I'm talking about how wide open he is. Why is he that open?
Because they got to change their defensive strategy, and they haven't because DeBron has a terrible shot.
So does
Because
Darvin
they
Ham
have
not, does
they're
Darvin Ham not
playing.
know how to does Darvin Ham not know how to adjust? I mean,
Apparently not, man. Steve Kerr's a really good coach.
hey, that's 15 for Jamichael. So all right, so kind of like what I thought. They're gonna blow this thing out in the third. Brian and them are kind of gonna just chill.
If they get it to like 14 by the end of the quarter, you'll see what they'll come out and try to fight to the beginning of the fourth, and then see what we can do. But Braun's not gonna put a lot of effort into trying to win the game.
You mean unlike how they did in
Memphis game 4?
How they did in Memphis in that game where they had like that 13-0 run and it was an 8-point game and then they just pulled LeBron. It was just like, well,
yeah, one of them. It's like, yeah, we're probably not going to win this game. Quick thoughts on Dylan. Let me give my quick thoughts on Dylan Brooks. I would probably part ways with him too, but the way that they went about getting that information out, I think that was nasty. I think it makes the organization looks bad. And if I were a free agent, I would be skeptical about signing with them at market. You have to pay me above the market for one to come to that small market, and then two, you're shitting on one of your core guys on the way out. Yeah, he did what he did, but everyone has heard the whispers about the culture in Memphis and how they kind of let the inmates run the asylum, so to speak. That's probably bad thing to say, but like they've let the young guys just run that culture.
You sound like a Houston
Cal
Texans.
McNair. Yeah, but the thing is, if the culture is shit and you allow young players who have done nothing in the league to establish your culture, don't then make the young guy the scapegoat. Again, I don't like what Dylan Brooks did. I don't hate it either. I'm indifferent. But now if he was doing stuff behind the scenes that was causing problems, all right, we got an issue. If Ja is the public face of what is actually going on in that organization, maybe a reason why Iguodala wanted nothing to do with those young guys who were obviously good, I can understand it. But don't publicly embarrass the guy because of your fuck-ups. Just move off of him.
Right.
I think that's
yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that was bad. Organizationally, it was bad. But overall, even what you just said about them paying above market, Lee, they were already doing that. Nobody was taking less to play with Ja. Let's just keep it 100. Nobody, it doesn't matter who it is. Nobody that's substantial was going to take less money and be like, man, I want to be a part of this. Andre Iguodala's ass did not want to be a part of it. And they were a number 2 seed that year when he was sitting out half the season. They were like, on pace to be what they were. The number, he didn't even want to be a part of that. So like, and look, he's still not even playing, and he could have been there and doing it, maybe collecting a bigger check. I don't know. So it's just, I think that they were already going to have to pay above market. Now it's just going to be a matter of, is a guy going to get traded there, and then they want to force themselves out of that type of situation too. And they have to figure out what it is that they want to do. Ideally, it's funny you brought up Paul George because I do think the Clippers have to move off of one of these guys. And so, and we won't get into the losers that have already been eliminated, but like, I do think that that's an interesting tidbit in general for you to specifically say Paul George, because I do think a move like that almost has to happen on that end and potentially on Memphis's end. Not that they don't want to keep Jaren Jackson, but like Jaren Jackson's stock is probably as high as it's ever been now as a DPOY. So, and he's young, and he actually signed a reasonable contract too. His deal was not, he doesn't have a 5-year, $200 million deal. His is like 5 years, 100. So
I'll tell you, and maybe this is just me. I don't know. I feel like every team who's trying to win a championship needs Paul George?
4 years, 105 is Jaren Jackson's deal. That's reasonable. That's John Collins' contract. Or John might have been 5 year, 125. I don't remember, but basically 25 a year.
Yeah, that's
for a player of his caliber, that's great.
JaMychal Green. That's the shit I'm talking about, man. He looks bummy.
Hey, he was a Memphis guy, correct?
At some point, probably. Like he's bounced around the league his entire career. He probably has one of those really full basketball reference pages, you know.
Let me see. Hold on.
Full of teams, not stats.
Okay, no. Yeah, he did play. He played in Memphis for 4 years. It wasn't recent. It wasn't as recent as I thought it was. He was with the Nuggets the last 3 years.
Yeah,
which makes sense. I remember him there too. I don't know why I thought he played in Memphis too, like with Ja and that group. What he did for Ja's rookie year. He was on the team with Ja's rookie year, but
you know that Ja did. Oh yes, he did.
But JaMychal Green's also an undrafted guy. He's your age.
Who?
JaMychal Green.
He's 32. I'm 31.
Well, nigga, you'll be 32 this year. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Y'all the same age. All right, that's all I'm saying.
You're right. Let me stop bullshitting. I'm not even one of those people who like gets my panties in a bunch about my age. Like, those people bother me. Oh my God, I'm turning 30. Don't tell me that. Why? It's not changing unless you die. Anyways, you want to close out this hour? Anything else basketball you want to hit before we transition?
No, I just need Rudy Hachimura to score 5 points. And they actually
called for a pretty terrible charge.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. He'll get his 5 because, like I said, Lakers benching their guys for a quarter. The starters aren't going to be out there.
Yeah. Looks like the Lakers are going to lose by a lot. They'll probably get it to about 10-ish, so it'll look way more respectable than it is. Steph is taking 6 shots, and he has 11 assists, really showing his value here and really showing you why the MVP award in the NBA doesn't mean too much of shit except for your basketball reference page and for your Hall of Fame now, because Joel Embiid.
Your Upper Deck sports card. I mean, I know that's the basketball reference page, but
the MVP was out and their team won. He came back. They lost.
And their best player basically was non-existent, and they got blown out.
Exactly. Like, how many of these guys are actually valuable? A lot of them are good, but not a lot of them are valuable. But anyways, that's hour one. That's basketball. AC Lee and Parlay Pete. All righty then. You want to talk a little NFL draft? A little football? A little...
We are all here to do what Falcons do. Look at that.
So what do you want to start here? Do you want to start with the Falcons draft? Do you want to start with the draft at large?
Yes. I want to start with the Falcons draft because that's the most important draft for us because we spend money on this product. And
they got their money like the other day.
Yeah, they did. Tuesday, I think, or Monday.
Yeah,
I don't know. I saw the withdrawal, and so I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I was like, I guess. But you know what? Once the payment stopped, then you're like, oh, football season's here.
Yes. Isn't it a great feeling?
It is because we're going through this really well. May's already here. We're going to get through the playoffs, and then we'll be in the finals for June. Then we'll get the draft for the NBA. We'll struggle with a little bit of baseball and some all-star break, home run derby, 4th of July cookouts, stuff like that. And then we'll be like, oh, shit, training camp's over yonder. And then we'll get training camp, and then we're talking about, oh, shit, Hall of Fame game. Then from Hall of Fame game, we're like, hey, are you going to the first preseason game? We're playing such and such. Hey, all right, now it's the second preseason game. Hey, now we're on the preseason game 3. Hey, we got a week till the regular season. Which road game are we doing this year? It snowballs. This thing snowballs. And the NFL is the greatest at keeping themselves relevant throughout the entire year because guess what? Next week, we get the schedule release to go along with it. I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, this Draymond and Shooter thing is great. Shooter's a little dirty. What's he, Frenchman?
He's German.
German. I was gonna say German first. He's a little dirty. Terry Fontenot, what did you do? Let's see. Pick one. We went Bijan Rob. Whoa. I do not want Skip Bayless talking on this broadcast. Pick one. We go Bijan Robinson, running back, University of Texas. Round 2, we go Matt Bergeron, offensive tackle, Syracuse.
Hey,
round 3,
fact,
Zach.
Before you get to that, fun fact on Bergeron. What I loved about the pick. If you remember in our group, I said, hey, we've got 3 positions we're targeting. And literally those were our next 3 picks. I said edge, corner, lineman, and I said specifically interior lineman, which is what he's going to be the guard. Okay. But fun fact, they showed, I don't know why the Cowboys had cameras in their draft room and they showed it. Their pick, they took a D tackle out of Michigan, but it was out of him and Bergeron. That's who they were trying to decide. So as far as I'm concerned, for one, Jerry's got a great track record of taking no linemen. So if Jerry liked him, I like him. 2, that means that man had a first-round grade. And obviously we traded up to get him early in the second round. We went up like 6 or 7 picks to get him. So I just love it. But continue. I love that pick. I love the pick. I really did.
Zach Harrison, edge, Ohio State. They got a great track record of producing edges.
Yeah.
Clark Phillips, cornerback, Utah. That might be the best pickup.
Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, consensus All-American. 5'9", he's a small guy, but boy, he's clearly a ball hawk, and I like that.
Rui just got you 2 more. DeMarco Helms, safety, Alabama, and then Javon Gwynn, guard out South Carolina. Go ahead and tell you. Our 2 round 7 picks, don't really care about them. Hopefully they're good.
I like that we got a safety out of Alabama that started every game the last 2 years, though.
I think at this point in the draft, if you're draft on pedigree, who went to the big programs, who was a 5-star, who was a 4-star, maybe they didn't live up to expectations in college. That's where you get funky, like after round 5, or excuse me, after round 4.
Clap your hands. He said, let's get funky.
But let's go back to our first round pick. Bijan Robinson. I don't think I was on the record, but I was on the record in the locker room saying that we would not draft running back at 8. I said that because I thought, based on the 2 years of Arthur Smith being the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, that he believed that he was coaching his run scheme. And he said, hey, I believe in the scheme more than I believe in a great player to run my scheme. Mm-hmm. And if you think about it, take a step back, you look at our draft picks. We've gone after freaks. Kyle Pitts, freak. Drake London, physical freak, not fast.
I don't understand why does everybody? I get it. Garrett Wilson won Rookie of the Year. Why is it that I think that Drake London is just as good, if not better, than Garrett Wilson? That's just my opinion.
I don't think Drake London has the ability to take the top off of a defense. He's a 5 catches for 75 yards guy.
And a touch.
Hopefully.
No, and a touch. He's that type of guy. Look at his numbers at USC. I get it, Pac-12. But, the guy played in, 8 games and had, ridiculous fucking stats. Is that Rui?
He's getting your points.
Yeah, I'm going to get him.
But anyways, so with Bijan, I'm optimistic to see what he's going to do. And hopefully he's a big play threat. And from everything that I've heard and seen about him, he's more than a running back. He's a weapon. So if we're putting him in the slot, and we talked about this before the draft, what does it look like when you have Cordero and Bijan on the field? And what does that defense think to do as far as their personnel? So again, curious to see what it's going to look like. I'm glad we got a great player, but I'm not going to lie to you. I would have taken Jalen Carter. In a vacuum, I would have taken Jalen Carter. I do not know what the conversations were like with Jalen Carter and what the Falcons' ability to keep him out of trouble, keep him on the straight and narrow in their locker room in the city of Atlanta, where he already has ties as a UGA player who has shown some reckless behavior.
This shit was getting out of hand. I didn't mean to cut you. I'm just
no. I was thinking the same thing. It's 78 to 102. It's 102.
But now they're just shooting. But now they're just shooting threes just to shoot them.
Oh yeah, that 3 by Steph was crazy and it went in.
That's what I'm saying. They're just shooting them to shoot them now. I mean, the game's over, but they're still shooting.
Oh, is that Steph's mom with the family? No, I know she's not with the dad and the.
Hold on, no, that looked like a white chick. I know his mom's pretty fair skinned, but
yeah, I didn't see the face. I just saw the back of the head.
Why can't mom and dad, even at this point in life, still do this stuff?
I mean, they can, but you remember the petty shit they pulled like last year during the playoffs?
Yeah, they had their people. I don't,
yeah. Yo, get Sam Darnold out of my screen.
I told you it was Sam though. I was like, that's Sam Darnold next to him. Sam looks like such a bitch, man.
And Kittle's talking shit. Like they don't even got the cool courtside seats though. They got the under the rim seats. That makes me feel a little bit better.
They're not under the rim. They're on the side.
Ish, nah, but they're not like nah. They're under the basket.
No, they're not. They're on the side. They're on the side. They're just not. They're not by the coaches. Who got teed up? LeBron?
I think so. I think he was mad about them not calling that foul on his 3.
I'd really like it if he stopped doing that, unless they just don't want to score any points at all. I took another bet, so that I don't like this. I need the points to be at a minimum because I figured that they would blow doors here in the second half, but like I also expected the Lakers kind of to not score like a lot of quick scoring, and that's what they're doing. They're doing a lot of quick scoring. So hopefully, maybe the second half is just slow burn offense.
Right.
You know?
There's so much officiating going on. Back to football, though.
Yeah.
This game's not good. What are your thoughts on our draft? I think let me close. Let me put a bow on it. I think we got an impact player, and I think we addressed our needs. I'm curious to see what that looks like. It lets me know that we're going to give Desmond Ridder a chance to be the guy and see what Desmond Ridder can be.
I got my Hashimura point thing, by the way. But nonetheless, yes, I think that we got arguably maybe the most – and I hate putting titles on this type of stuff. We probably got the player that was most likely to always achieve. Like we got the guy that no matter what was pretty much going to be really good. LeBron's going to get thrown out.
Yeah, drunk fan, tell LeBron to get attacked, yes. What about to give him 3 shots?
I don't think it was a foul. And honestly, Darvin Ham should listen to LeBron and tell him to. Okay, they are going to review it. I was about to say I didn't think that was a foul.
Yeah, bro, he was already falling. Like you could tell he was going to fall. Like when he took off, when he started shooting. Bron didn't bump him.
Yeah, it wasn't a foul. It wasn't a foul. I love this stuff. But
the drunk fans.
Tee his ass up.
Shut up.
They're rich California people, man. Let them live.
Hey, yeah, and they're paying 68% fucking income tax.
We're talking about, hey, when guys are sitting right there, those are guys that like they're not like rich as fuck, but like they're making $700K a year. You know what I mean? Like now, granted, they live in San Francisco, so that's about $250, $300 elsewhere, but they still make really good money. And They
They're
can't
tech
afford
bros.
to live there, and they can afford to get seats. So,
And they're tech bros.
right, they have something. Hey, that guy owns a staffing company that cleans the buildings. You know what I mean? That's what type of contract he's got. I'm telling you, he's not. He isn't even the techie. He knows the techies, but he ain't the techie. But he still benefits from the tech shit. So, like, you know, the Google guys contacted him, and he can email the head dude.
Bro, I got a friend who worked at Google for a few years. She's in law school now, and I think she's gonna be heading back to
You
Google.
have women friends?
Huh?
I said, you have women friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't have women friends. Well,
I
should I
didn't
say
say-
homegirl?
I didn't say that you couldn't. There's a lot of women out here that don't think that men can have women friends.
Oh well, I think
There are
that
women out here. There are women out here.
I'm trust me. I'm hip.
Wow, they still gave me. What a bad call.
No, man. They're just making sure that we get what we need. We can't have LA go up 2-0.
That was a bad call.
I agree. This is Moses Moody. This is Moses Moody versus LeBron James. If it's questionable, you err on the side of LeBron James, not Moses Moody.
He's like, you want to be like that ref in that Michael Jordan clip? He's like, it was a fat. He's like, it was two hands, Michael. He's like 55. He's like, I didn't see it, Michael. He's like, but I believe you. I believe you, Michael. This nigga got up on Michael Jordan. He's like, but I believe you.
Hey, the fact that you get like a clip like that isolated, we get to hear it. E40 got that shit on though.
Oh, the Burberry.
Bro, it's I know it's not that chilly up there for that. He probably stinks underneath.
It might be 57, 58.
You know,
hot here right now.
That's not 57, 58.
I tell you what, because we got time today. Hold on,
and we're inside. Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna look up San Francisco's weather.
Their football slate is light.
It is. Hey man, it's 52 degrees out there right now. 58 was the high, 49 is the low. So actually, it was. Now that's still the overkill for that type of weather, even with wind.
And what does it feel like inside?
Damn, did they just score again?
Yeah. Because AD threw a deep pass, and then Moses Moody just,
I'm going to lose the other bet, but I'm going to hit my other one, so I'm okay. But I don't like this because the other one paid more. And I could have just taken Golden State instead of doing this over-under shit.
One of these days, you're going to learn to go with what you know.
I do know what I know, but if you think it's going to be a blowout, the thought is the Lakers aren't going to be scoring points, or more importantly, the Warriors aren't going to go for 43 after going for 41 in the second quarter. Why would they outdo themselves? I get it, best third quarter team in the league, but why is it that we just got a mirror of the second quarter and the third quarter? Like the thought would be, oh, the Lakers scored 13 and the Warriors had 38. Like that would have worked. Like that would have been more than fine for me. Instead, the Lakers still gave you 24 and then Golden State gave you 43. We got a 77-point quarter. That's unbelievable, bro. Like that's unbelievable. I would have to have under 33.5 points in this half to hit this, but it doesn't matter. I have basically already hit the other bet because Rui Hachimura has already got it, and the Dallas Stars are up 2-0. So unless the Dallas Stars, smoke it, give up some ass, then I'm good. I mean, I'm good.
So Bryce Young with 1.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud goes 2.
Which I guess was a shocker to some, but not to me.
Will Anderson goes 3 to the Texans. Shocker
trade up for sure. I don't think anyone saw them trading up to get him.
Apparently, Daniel Jeremiah had it in his last mock draft. Here's what I'll say.
I like the big dick move because they didn't see an impact player coming out next year in the draft defensively that was as good as Will Anderson. So why not get 2 of the top 3 players in the draft this year?
I don't think I like Will Anderson as much as everyone else does.
I love him.
But
I think
if
he's Von Miller.
But if that's what you believe in, I say go for it because you have the draft capital to do it. When you traded Deshaun Watson, it gave you draft picks. And so often when we talk about drafts, we talk about teams, we talk about draft picks. But draft picks don't win games, players do. So if you believe in a player, make the move for the player. Secondarily, I think Nick Caserio is trying to keep his job. And the most important thing, the one thing that's more important than winning games is keeping your job. Just like politicians. First job is to get reelected. Can't do politics if you ain't got a job in politics. Can't be a GM if you're not on a team. Same boss. So I think self-preservation came in there because I can't imagine the coach with the 6-year contract was just like, hey, yeah, let's just move up and get maybe. Because the way it was painted to me was you didn't trade up for Will Anderson, you traded up for CJ Stroud. You have to you have to attach that value to the quarterback, not the end, because obviously if you take Anderson first, the price to move up to get to 3 to get Stroud is higher because somebody else sees the quarterback there. But if you take Stroud, you get him off the board, you have less teams wanting to move up, so it drives the price down on the move up to get the player that you actually wanted at 3.
These are facts.
Then we have AR-15 going 4, which, I mean, the guy only played like 4 games at the University of Florida. But for him to go 4, it's really how crazy is this, Parlay P? Have we started to overvalue the quarterback position too much in football? When AR-15 can go 4, oh yeah, it's over. We got Tristan Thompson in the game.
Hey, is this his first action as a Laker?
Yeah, we got Tristan Thompson, Lonnie Walker, Malik Beasley,
Rui's still out there.
Who?
Rui is still out there. Think about it. They were like, plus 105 for Rui to have 5 points. Oh, 4.5, over 4.5 plus 105 for the second half. I'm like,
I
don't get it. Look, this is where you got to start. When you get a bank roll on here to where you can like do like dumb bet. They're not even dumb bets, but like you can just like kind of press some shit. You got to take advantage of it, and this is an example of that.
But how does Anthony Richardson go 4? Trey Lance go 3 a couple years before. Lamar Jackson go 32 in 2018, just 5 years ago, where he won a Heisman, and his season after his Heisman year, he was just as productive. And they say, hey, he needs to show us a little bit more before we take this plunge on him. But AR can go 4. Lance can go 3. Shit, Will Levis went what, 34? I don't get it.
I get it. It makes sense.
But is having a bad a quarterback who may not be good that worth that much?
I think that in the case of the Colts, this is how you got to look at it. They've been haunted by that position since Andrew Luck retired. And ultimately, not only was that pick kind of not a, hey, we need to win immediately type thing, but it was this guy might have the highest ceiling of all the guys because of his freak athleticism. He still went to Florida. Like, you know what I mean? Like, good football players go there, right? Like, so it's not – I think that the AR-15 pick – I wish that they had a vet. Like, I'm not saying that they should trot Matt Ryan back out there, which obviously they won't be. But, like, I wish they had a good veteran quarterback, a guy that has accomplished a lot in the league, because they're not going to be good no matter what. But now, Gardner Minshew's he's an okay backup to have. But in reality, Anthony Richardson is starting from day one. I promise you, he's QB1 week 1. Gardner Minshew is not going to be the starting quarterback in week 1. So they're going to throw him out there, and I'm interested to see how that looks. Like Josh Allen even at least got to sit, and he's the similar player in terms of, man, look at this freak. Like this guy's like this big. He can run. He's got a cannon of an arm. I wish that he could sit for his development as a fan of the black quarterback type situation and then Indianapolis being a place where they never had that. Brissett did start the 1 year, but that was on short notice. I promise you they did not want him to be the quarterback. They want this dude to be the quarterback. So I wish that he had that veteran presence for himself, but in reality, I don't know how it's going to work out. But I do think this. Anthony Richardson was a freak, and I think that he can come in and do some things, especially because he's got a good running game. Now, the question is the offensive line going to be what it was 2 years ago as opposed to last year? That's going to be key to his development in general. Will he have any time to even throw? And if not, is he just going to look like Justin Fields year 1 and 2, where he's more running the ball anyways, and he might throw for 150 yards? And then he'll have that one game where he does throw for 200 and, 2-3 touchdowns, and his completion percentage is 67% or something. Is it going to be like that? But he'll have a couple 100-yard rushing games or something.
For his future as a productive NFL quarterback, I wish he would have came back to Florida for a year.
Agreed. He didn't play enough ball.
But he went 4. So you got to leave.
Yeah, if they're telling you you're this dude, why? Because he could easily have came back and been like, think about Matt Barkley. You remember Matt Barkley? Matt Barkley was projected like the first pick. He was projected, but Liner still went top 10. But Barkley was projected to go 1, and he went in the 4th round. And then he went to a quarterback room that had Nick Foles and Michael Vick. So it was you're probably not.
No, I'm sorry. You're talking Barkley. I'm thinking Jimmy Clausen, who
he went first pick, 2nd round to Carolina. He still even got put in a position he just sucked. Matt Barkley, though, dropped. Matt Barkley was supposed to be the 1st overall pick. He came back to USC, fell to the 4th round. He was a 4th round pick, and he's been a scavenger type of guy. He's a Nathan Peterman these days. He's one of those guys. I know that guy's name. I know who he is. But
USC had Carson Palmer in our lifetime.
Matt Leinart. Mark Sanchez. Sam Darnold.
Carson Palmer is the one they talk about when they talk to the young quarterbacks about what you want to be in the NFL.
In the NFL. But Matt Leinart is exactly who you wanted to be for college. Now, granted, he had a ton of talent. Lindale White, Reggie Bush. He had Dwayne Jarrett, right? Dwayne Jarrett was there with Matt Leinart. Yeah. Think about Dwayne Jarrett, guy that flamed out in the league.
The other Steve
Mike Williams, right? They went to Detroit. When they drafted for the 3rd straight year a wide receiver in the top 5. You're just I don't understand. I don't get it, Detroit. You got Calvin Johnson. You got Roy Carlos Rogers or somebody. They drafted 3 wide receivers in the 1st round, the back-to-back years, bro. That shit was crazy. But that's why McMillan got fired too. Idiot. But you know what's funny? You brought up a good point about the Terry thing when we were faking the Terry, and I know I'm kind of all over the place with this, but
it's fine.
With the Terry thing, you also were the fantasy draft. You're basically, Terry. If we were the ones asking the questions, well, Terry, some would say that you're drafting like it's a fantasy draft as opposed to an NFL draft, considering the glaring holes that we've had as a franchise for pretty much a decade plus, and you're still picking position, skill position players. Now, granted, this is what I will say, at least we're taking the skill position players that appear to be the can't misses at them. Drake London, some people questioned it, but with Pitts for sure, and then with Bijan, I think that we've got guys that are literally freaks. Like, they're freaks. Those guys are freaks.
Well, here's the thing, right? Because you want to go back to that 2021 NFL draft, his first draft. Arthur's first year, he said he wanted to win with Matt Ryan. Got it, cool. You know what? You need to get ready to move off of your damn quarterback because we know he's about to go.
Right.
So we drafted at – what did we draft at? 4. So here's who's on the board when we're drafting at 4. Jamar Chase, I get why we didn't make that move because we still had – no, we didn't have – we moved off of Julio to Tennessee. That's right. But we had Calvin Ridley, Jalen Waddle, Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn, Pat Surtain, Devonta Smith, Justin Fields, Micah Parsons, Rashawn Slater. Oh, golly. We'll stop there because I think those are the only people who you would actually consider could the Falcons make a play for.
Okay.
And I look at Justin Fields. Really, Justin Fields. And we may be right by not taking Justin Fields in that spot. But I don't know if the thought process was right. Because that's right, because we moved Julio. We moved Julio after the draft. Mm-hmm. Because we were thinking, I think we were doing this podcast at that point. Or maybe you just came on.
We've been doing this podcast since 2020.
Shit, yeah, this will be our third full football season, won't it?
Yes, it will.
But yeah, we were thinking that we were going to go Pitts, Calvin, and Julio. And we were like, yeah, we can suck the last bit of juice out of Matt Ryan. Pause. I paused that one. I can't let that one go. Pause. But no, we thought we were going to just get the last little bit out of Matt Ryan that year. With giving him these 3 weapons, we go, I see it.
It made sense, but did it not make sense? It was like, man, if Matt can be as good as he was the year before, does it not make sense? At least offensively, it made sense. Like,
if he could be 35,
we were still gonna suck dick, but like,
if he could be 35 to 3,700 yards type quarterback, 28 touchdowns.
13 picks.
14 picks. He probably, if he plays at that level with those weapons, it probably gets him closer to 4,000 yards than you think just because you believe in the weapons. You probably add another touchdown or 2.
But the thing is, what we didn't know was Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot's plan or what type of play caller. We knew that Arthur Smith clearly liked to run the ball. Like, we knew that. But, like, at the same time, what else did we really know about that,
And here's the thing. I don't know if we know Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot's plan. I think I know Arthur Smith's plan.
I see it a little bit more now. I think I know exactly what they want to do. I think they want to create – they want to create an offense to where – we have like the best running game in the NFL and that we are still a threat to pass it, even though that's not our bread and butter. Like, because we've got these imposing guys. And the thought would be that we're never going to be playing from behind. And that's kind of, which we saw what happened this year when we did, because we were pretty much, most of these games we were always in. But the Cincinnati game, when you get 14, when somebody puts 14 on you, like in the first half of the first quarter, now you got to abandon the fucking run. If you don't have a legitimate quarterback, you're done.
Well,
like, you have to be able to answer not with the field goal, but a touchdown. You need to go back down to 7 so you can keep running. And I think that's where the Desmond Ridder factor is going to come in this season. And both of us pretty much feel the same. We know how we feel about this. We think that Desmond Ridder is a backup quarterback in this league. And, a lot of other people might not agree with us, right?
Yeah. He's a backup.
He's a backup in this league. I think he's a good backup too. Like I said, I'm not saying he's Chase Daniel's 15-year backup. But like you said, 8-year guy where he's serviceable. He could be like Nick Mullins. And Nick Mullins actually can sling it. But he could be like a Nick Mullins. I don't think Nick Mullins is in the league now. Nobody's picked him up this offseason. But he could be like Nick Mullins, a guy that could come in and you're like, man, this guy's got a little spunk to him. I think he could be that guy.
Man, look here. Desmond Ridder. Here's the thing, and we talk about this. I'm rooting for Desmond Ridder. I just don't think he got it. I was having a conversation with a loved one today, and the conversation ended up not going so great. We're talking about sewing because the wife is getting her dress, had to get her dress hemmed for the wedding, the Boink's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me how much it costs for it to get hemmed. She told me it's like $30. I was talking to someone else about it. I said, man, these seamsters are just taking money. I'm like, how long does it take to hem a dress? Does it take an hour?
I don't know. We don't get dresses hemmed, so we don't know, right?
But I'm sitting there, I'm like, is that really $30 worth of labor? I get you can charge it, and if you can charge it, if people will pay it, I'm with it.
Possibly. I think you got to think about it. How many suits have you had altered?
I have never had to pay for it. So
I've had some suits, not many altered. You wore that suit. Do you remember? You wore one of my suits, which you can have it, by the way, when you come back up here. I know you said it fits you really well. Because, see, we're about the same height, but honestly, I'm a little thicker now, like in this area. And actually, my legs might be a little bit longer than yours, too. But,
yeah, maybe. But that's
the waist more. What are you? You're a 32 in the waist, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a legit. Yeah, I might be a 34.
I'm a 34. I'm a 34 in the waist, and I'm a 34 in length. Even though they had it as a 36, 32 for me for my pants, and I was like, okay, whatever. But I'm a 34 in the waist with a belt on. Now, maybe that's I don't know, but nonetheless, if you get a suit altered, you can you start talking about they're adding length to you. So it makes sense. $30, that doesn't sound bad.
I'm just thinking about them. They're not adding.
Turnaround is the question. What is the turnaround on that $30? Is it gonna take me a week? How long do I have to wait? Is my question.
I'll tell you what, man. I forgot my bigger point here. Shit. Shout out to Desmond Ridder, though, man. Dude, I'm rooting for you. I'm really rooting for you. I hope
you prove this wrong.
Hey, you know what? I hope you're the best quarterback in the NFC South this year.
I hope you're the best quarterback in Falcons history. Legitimately.
That'll be even better. How do you feel about Bijan wearing number 7?
I'm okay with it. I didn't understand. I'm curious as to what Koo's plan was, though. I'm not mad that he has 7, but obviously they went through it, and unless somebody's already claimed 1, all the other single-digit numbers I can account for. I know who's what. And so, and I don't know who moved into Ritter's 4, but I was curious. I'm
why didn't Bijan just keep his 2?
Two's off limits. It's too soon. Even if the Falcons don't retire jerseys, you come on, Lee. You know that 2 is too soon. That's too soon.
I agree. I think 2 should be retired.
It's too soon.
But I also think 7 should be retired, but that's just.
But why?
That's
This
when,
isn't a beat up Vic thing. Like, and I think that
I
everybody's
know.
got to understand when it comes to Parlay Pete's points on Vic. Parlay Pete's a Falcons fan, so Parlay Pete loves Michael Vick too. But I also know that who's the better player when it comes to
no.
the quarterback.
Yeah, no, Matt Ryan's better player by far. I just think 7 should have.
6 years of duty.
He sold them.
Two of them, he barely played his rookie year. He got hurt one of those years. And then you had 4 other years, 2 playoff appearances, 2 playoff wins.
Sold tickets, man.
Okay, but is this about selling tickets or is this about winning? I'm trying to understand, like, because that's the fault that we give number 2. With number two won games.
Bro,
like,
but I'm not one of those people. I think that
you won games and could sell tickets.
Right.
He didn't sell tickets like 7, but 2 sold tickets too because he was winning. I think why people were coming because they were good.
I think 7 elevated the franchise. Gave him a little name, gave him some give a fuck, right? Made people care about the Falcons outside of Atlanta.
Okay.
Then 2 brought a culture of winning to the Falcons that the Falcons have not seen consistently throughout their history. I think that Matt Ryan is the best Falcon. He should be the number 1 Falcon. I get that Julio Jones was a better wide receiver who was a better at wide receiver than Matt Ryan was at quarterback for the Falcons. I got it.
I get that too.
But greatest Falcon is Matt Ryan. Like,
it's not close.
Yeah.
He's an MVP. There's one MVP, guys.
Don't get me wrong. I think Julio gets in the Hall of Fame and Matt Ryan.
I think they're both in.
But I do think when it comes to just the history of the Falcons, I think Matt Ryan gets to be kind of that guy. I think he gets to be in the Ring of Honor. He gets to sit at the adult table. Anything else about the draft you want to talk about? The Eagles, Bulldogs, North.
We can talk about how Jahmyr Gibbs was a stretch. Like, he was definitely the biggest reach of the draft. The fact that, prior to Bijan getting drafted 8th, a running back, the highest a running back had been chosen since Barkley in 18 was 24th. The year prior, there were no running backs taken in the first round. So I think that was a bit of a shocker. And considering they had Jamal Williams, who led the league in touchdowns, and I had a 1,000-yard year. They obviously let him go. They signed David Montgomery to a 4-year deal. Maybe 2 of it's guaranteed or whatever, but like it was a 4-year deal. Yep. And they already had DeAndre Swift. So we knew, I guess, when they made that pick that Swift was on the outs, obviously. And of course, that's what ended up happening. The Eagles had the Texans had a very good draft too, in my opinion. I like Dell out of Houston. I like him out of Houston. I thought he was a hell of a pickup. I watched a lot of college ball too because I bet on it. And obviously, Justice is this college football guru, as he would like to be, or whatever. And I do think that they hit for a 3rd-round wide receiver. I thought he was a hell of a pickup because he's a speedy guy. They'll have Mechie. I really liked what they did to get Will. You're not as high on Will Anderson. I really like them, but I think outside of the Texans, loved, of course, the Eagles draft. The Eagles did. I mean, they got dogs.
Well, think about it. There's not much room for many rookies to make their roster and get playing time.
Well, right. When you look at Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean, both of them were damn near redshirts last year. They didn't really play like that.
Exactly.
And they're going to be full. But this year, Jordan Davis is definitely playing because Hargrave's gone. And I think Carter's playing too. I think he's playing off. Really.
I do too. Ooh, Danny DeVito's at the game. A-Rod. They ain't going to show his woman, though. She don't look better than J-Lo.
Well, a lot of women don't.
I mean, she ain't close, though. But
he screwed something harder than that, and we know it.
Huh?
He screwed something harder than that. He screwed something better than J-Lo in reality.
Oh, yeah, he's A-Rod.
You know what I mean? But think about the chicks that dudes, especially, I would imagine for those guys, but even for ourselves, there are chicks like that we did not date that were hotter than like chicks that we've dated.
Never.
Really? I have definitely had sex with women that looked better than women I've dated. But
you not see the look on my face.
Oh, I'm not talking about who you're married. I'm not talking about
No.
marriage.
No. I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, yes.
So I guess that's all I'm saying. And to that point, and we can get off of this, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, bro. Like, here's the thing, dog. And I'm not famous, and this can probably take us into fucking hour 3 to our culture hour, right? Yo, just because a chick is famous doesn't necessarily mean like she's like the finest chick ever. Like, there's some randoms walking around here bad as hell with 475 Instagram followers, and all she do is she goes to Red Lobster every day, waits on her tables, gets behind the bar when they need her, and is just chilling, living a regular life. And shorty is bad.
475 followers, 475 followers, and they follow 603 people. Like,
right, like you're following like the people you went to high school with and all your favorite celebrities.
Yeah, and you're page, I guess, or whatever.
Like no BBL, no lip filler. You just bad. Like you got beautiful hair, green eyes. You got
you're a diamond in the rough, ma'am.
Huh? Exactly.
You're a diamond in the rough, ma'am.
And all you dated was older dudes that treated you like shit, so you don't even know your value because they just treated you terribly because they're insecure.
Right.
I promise you I was not describing anybody I know, but guys, that was our draft talk, our Falcons draft talk. Ready to talk a little culture, Parlay Pete?
I am. Let's get to the culture. We need to take Kendrick Lamar's line from the Heart Part 5 where he's like, "It's for the culture," and like that be like.
As I was sitting here.
Hey, by the way, that's what we need to do Friday before the dinner. I don't know what your plans are like and where are you guys staying, by the way?
We're staying at the cheaper hotel.
Where? Which one?
I don't remember. I'm going to wait till I get an email.
You're doing it via the Boink and what hotel he put up? Yeah. Oh, I don't even know what he had up. And obviously, I live here, so that's kind of why I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I don't even know where the venue is. I don't.
I said I do this for my culture to let y'all know what a nigga look like in a bulletproof Rover.
I gotta add that to the shits. I gotta go back and look at the stuff. Bro, I play so much of this stuff like by ear. It's once you make the reservation and you know where you're supposed to go, and you're gonna be around a bunch of people going to the same place. You're gonna have to meet us at Boink's suite because we're taking a shuttle to the wedding.
Okay.
And so Thursday, when I'm drive up Thursday, take the wife and kid to my mom's. Take the wife and kid to my mom's. And I'm gonna come back. What? Dallas is fucking you?
No, hold on. Oh, I thought I was about to hit. Hold on.
Oh, in this Lakers game?
Yeah, on the second half. Hold on. Nah, it barely went over though. Barely. Like, I'm gonna hit like my other stuff, but I'm saying it barely went over. I didn't mean to cut into that. I'm just looking.
Nah, you're good.
I started counting numbers, and I was like, hold on a second. I was like, this looks like this is going under 131 and a half, and I thought that was the number I needed to achieve something. It wasn't. It wasn't the number I needed. It went over. The second half went over.
So yeah, I'm gonna drop the wife and daughter off at my mom's. Drive up, link up with Boink Thursday night just to kind of get a sober outline and rundown of everything that he needs from us. And then I'm still figuring out if I'm gonna get my hair cut here Thursday or if I'm going to get my hair cut in Cartersville Friday. The problem that I have is my barber in Cartersville, he doesn't open until 12 and he doesn't take appointments. And it's one of those weird things where I got to get up there at like 10:30 and just sit in a car to be the first
That's
car up there.
Friday. I was gonna say Saturday. Friday night. I'm guessing
we're getting drunk. But we got rehearsal dinner. We got that meet and greet thing too. Then we got after the meet and greet where we actually hang out and have fun.
You mean after the party, it's the after party.
Yeah, no hotel. Well, you know what?
And after this, it's got better than the original. It's got to be the remix.
Yeah. I don't know if we can sing.
I swear to God, I'm gonna play that too. If I can get it to where we're all showing up at once, we'll come through the elevator, and I'll make sure it's blaring as we walk in. And maybe I'll have some strippers in here. I don't know, but I'm not gonna have strippers.
I'm gonna have my wife there, so just tell them to stay away from.
Well, wait, I thought they were doing their own thing.
No.
What do you mean, no? I thought we were gonna set it up to where it was the boys are the boys, and maybe they can come initially, of course, right? But like,
let's talk about
it. They do whatever they want to do.
Zoe has nothing planned according to Boink.
Well, she can get something planned.
All right, let's talk about this off camera.
All right. Whatever. Let's move on to hour 3, man.
Yeah, hour 3, man. You know, I'm tired of Celebrity Row, man. I'm really tired of Celebrity Row. It's become a focal point of social media, and I guess social media they get their impressions from that. But the cable is showing us, like, they showed up me Zendaya like 14 times. She looks 14. I don't really care to look at her. We're looking at Joe Montana at the Knicks games. We're looking at John Starks. We're looking at Will Ferrell at the Lakers game. We're looking at what's his name? Meet the Parents.
Hey, I did hit my bet. Oh my God, the second half went under.
Look at there, you hit your bet. Good for you, making more money.
I'm sorry. I did a sudden realization because I just saw they're offering me a cash out. And I was like, well, let me cash this out. No, oh my gosh, wow, it went under 110 in the second half because they had such a lackluster fucking
fourth quarter.
Yes. Oh my God.
But yeah, man. So we got celebrities on the front row at the game, cool. But then you pair that with the Met Gala that just happened this weekend, and I really don't know what the Met Gala is other than it's like $350,000 for a table.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone talks about it and goes on social media, and some people like watch the live streams of the red carpet and stuff, and you got all the pictures, and people got multiple outfits on the red carpet. What are we doing here? Why do we care what rich and famous people do? Should I say, why do we care what famous and rich people do? Because I think the fame is more important than the rich. Because some of them live paycheck to paycheck too.
I think that, especially in the United States, it is such a phenomenon because the United States, when you really think about it, we are pop culture, right? Like it feels like it. It feels like pop culture is centered, but it's world pop culture. Like the United States' pop culture is world pop culture. And of course, there's other things from Europe like Basquiat, right? Like these people are not Basquiat, Warhol. Like these dudes they're not from the United States, right? I'm tripping.
I doubt it. I mean, most of these fashion designers, they're not American.
Warhol is, all right, I'm thinking of somebody else. Hold on. Who's the guy that does the random paintings and nobody knew his name?
I'll stick to the rivers and lakes that I'm used to.
He's Jay-Z loves him too. It's not Basquiat or Warhol though. It's
Alexander Wang?
No, hold on. Cool. London artist. No name.
Basquiat, Warhol, something.
news is, but that was hold on. There's an artist in London that paints stuff that his shit is very popular today. Still, I just his name is slipping my mind. Point being, there are other people that are part of pop culture that aren't United States type celebrities, but like at the same time, like this is even people like Sam Smith and Adele. I'm sure that they have houses out there, but they live here too. So it's like their pop culture, you know. And then there's the royal family pop culture aspect, but like for the most part, a lot of the like the pop culture is the United States, but it's world pop culture because they're so famous everywhere else too.
I think a bunch of poor working class Black people want to live vicariously through their celebrities because it makes them feel like they made it when they could actually focus less on the celebrities and focus on themselves and make it to a better place in their own lives. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't pay attention to what celebrities do. Because sometimes it drives topics here.
Sometimes you don't have much of a choice but to.
No, I follow the shader. My follow spiritual word. I don't follow Hollywood Unlocked. But I follow some of these pages. I listen to Black podcasts. I watch stuff on YouTube, partially because I want to stay in tune with our culture and what we value, because it's hard to make an argument against the values of a culture that you care about when you don't know what the culture is valuing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I keep up with that stuff. But at the same time, I don't care what Cardi B wears. I don't care that Carisha shows up with Diddy and then they asking him, so are y'all together? I'm going to let her answer that. Like, I could care less. Like, for you people to come out and say, oh, Carisha is stupid for being with him after he done put her through all of this and that. Is she happy? Like, I hate.
Well, but then there's the women.
Say again?
No,
I hate people who have something to say about someone else's relationship. You're not in it. You know, I want that ASAP and Riri love. I want that Beyonce and J love. I want that Chris Brown and Riri love. Bro, you don't know what the hell they was doing.
I don't like the idea of putting people on a platform different from you just because they might have a talent that is possibly unmatched. Some of them don't even have talents that are unmatched, but like even the ones that do have, like that, you're like, man, you know, he's a once in a lifetime guy. It's just like for like sports too. You throw sports into too, because I don't want to get on the people that are big on that and then not look at it like I don't eat, breathe, and sleep football too. Now, granted, I also am not posting this stuff. I'm not commenting. I'm not doing none of this. We have opinions on it. We talk it. But like at the same time, sports are a lot different than entertainment, in my opinion. Because that's people's daily lives. This shit's actually a game. Like, and we lived it in high school and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like in high school, like we played too, to where people would talk about high school players and stuff, even if none of us were going to the league and everybody knew that and around. It's sports. So like I feel like that's just a part of sports. When you start getting into personal people's lives and shit and like shit, like the Met Gala is not even what is that? Like, what is that for real? It's a fucking like, it's like a costume party low key, but like not a costume party.
I thought it's a fundraiser for the Met, the museum.
No, I know, like, okay, I get that, but I'm saying like, what is it really?
I think because it costs.
Is it the player's ball for the ball and his celebrity? Like, what is it?
Hate. I think that's what it is. It's the player haters ball. Because we don't know what happens in there. You remember a couple years ago, Hillary Clinton was in there and Cardi B was in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be at no party with Hillary Clinton and Cardi B. I'm sorry. You got Hillary and Bill walking down the aisle and all that Secret Service and Cardi B and Offset, bro. It's too many felons being here around a former cabinet member and a former president.
Senators, governors.
Yeah, bro. Like AOC came in that one year.
Well, oh yeah, with the she had a political statement on, right?
Yeah, that's why she went to make her political statement.
Well, yeah, because they knew that that's what it's about. It's like look at me. Like, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I think that, this podcast could blow up and be one of the best ever for sports, and it eventually become not just a podcast, but a TV show or something. And like, I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't go, because I'd go just to see how it is, but it would be one of those things too, where I don't think that I would I can't get around. Like, I like being around people that have money too. Like, because I've been around some people that have some money, but like at the same time, like, I don't know. That's just not my, I like intimate events that are not recorded, honestly.
Let's go to the Met Gala after party. Or if we're going to the Met Gala, sponsors got to be buying that ticket, or somebody's gonna yeah. Well, I wouldn't even care about wardrobe, because I'm gonna be so simple. I'm gonna just like black it out, and it's gonna be fly enough to where like I ain't there to be the fly nigga.
You remember they have themes apparently.
Yeah, I'm just gonna black it out, like whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna black it out. I feel like I could get out. I could get a nice solid tux shit for less than $3,000. And if you're paying $350,000 for a table, let's just say there's 10 seats there. That's $35,000 for a seat. That's a souped up Honda. That's the fly Honda. You know what I'm saying?
That's a nice Volkswagen.
Yeah, bro, that's a nice car. But somebody would have to show me how that placement would put more money in my pocket. Because I'm not mad at the people for going. I'm mad at people who don't go caring about it.
Yes, I'm with you. But blame the shade room. Because these are the publications. Obviously Anna Winter, right, is the one that kind of does it. She's the one that throws it. And she's like the head of Vogue, right? And I get it. Vogue's a fashion magazine, though. So like, I get it. It's about fashion from that perspective. So I get that. But USA Today, Rolling Stone, and I'm trying to think of all the things that aren't Instagram type stuff. Like,
no, I think it's a legitimate event that is covered by legitimate sources and presented in a way, hey, we're telling you what's going on here, right? But I think that in our Black social media platforms, because I don't even want to call them like media platforms, because they're more social media clickbaiting. Mm-hmm. We're caring about the red carpet. Oh, who showed up to the Met Gala with what on? Ooh, why was Ice Spice at the Met Gala?
She's not been famous long enough. Why is she there? Right.
Like, I just opened up Instagram, and it's a tweet from Coyle Ray. How old are you, and what's the oldest and youngest you will date? For one, who cares? Then they have somebody respond, I'm 19. The oldest I'll go is 30, and the youngest I'll go is 15. Well, hey, 19-year-old, that's not legal in every state. Most states is actually not legal. You fucking 15-year-old, but it's a girl, and her Twitter is at Baby Barty C.
She's already been compromised, Lee. Like, she's been compromised in life. And when I say compromised, obviously, I mean, the culture has gotten her. She's been gotten by
fake ass bullshit black culture.
These things that distract you from even you being the best you that you can be, because you're so dedicated to other things and you're so addicted to other things that you can't even put that same time and interest into yourself, your hobbies, like to get yourself to where, who knows, if you put that much energy, I tell you what, not that much energy, if you move some of that energy into what it is that you want to accomplish, maybe you can be that person there too, and other people are talking about you. We don't know. But like, And look, it's a hard thing to do. Like, it's a hard thing to do. Obviously, that's why there's only a select few that have been able to be in that type of situation, right? Like, it's hard to like accomplish something to where there are some people that are famous, right, that aren't really that rich, and then there are people that are rich as fuck that aren't famous at all. But like, it's hard to still even be able to get to that point because you have to make a name for yourself. You have to be known for something, and it has to be something that adds to society in some way, I guess. Like, it's hard to do it. So like, I understand that aspect of it, but like, you know, what did Jay-Z say? And he's such a good person to bring up because were they there? I have no idea, but like, were they there? Beyonce might have been there, but Jay-Z might not have went or something. I'm sure they've been before. Naturally, they've been before, but like, but Jay said,
He said a lot.
no, who said it wasn't Jay? Who said if you ain't made $1 million, you can't tell me like how to make $1 million? Blueface actually said that. Funny enough, he said it. He's the one that said. He said it on the West Coast remix. He was like, he said, if you ain't made man, how can you tell me how to make $1 million? Type shit. But like, I get it too. Like, I get that. Like, why would you want to hear something? It's certainly about money from somebody that hasn't done it themselves, even though there are people out here that do influence some of these people to get to that point. And because you can see something in somebody to where you're like, man, you could really be killing it. Like, if you do it, like somebody, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let you talk too. But like, somebody even told us at the gym, I go to the gym frequently and I sit in the sun. I talk a lot of sports there too. And even somebody had told me, they said, man, yeah, like, why aren't you trying to get on ESPN? They're like, man, I think you'd be great. You're like, you have a unique voice too. Like, you don't sound like a lot of people. And I was like, I do what I do. And then I told them about our podcast and stuff. And I said, this was kind of like one of those things where that is how, at least from that perspective, it's not that I don't think I can't do it, but like, I have something good too already that I think I could make even better and make more money doing. Like, Stephen A. Smith might be the highest paid dude at ESPN. He might make $10 million a year off ESPN alone. But I feel like I have a company that I can make more than $10 million a year eventually. So if it's about money, at least, yeah, I have a passion for this. But that's why I like doing this with you. Like, and you do too. But that's what makes it so great. Like,
yeah, man. Like, it's there's 24 hours in a day. Let me start there. There's 24 hours in a day. I don't care what. Huh?
And we're parents. Like, there's just other stuff. Like,
yeah, dog. Like, we're parents. I'm a husband. Like, let me tell you something about this. It's 24 hours in a day. And if you're spending 8 of your hours sleeping, good on you. But it's hard to be working hard towards a goal, being a social being of any type, having friends, family, and working a job. If your job and your goal aren't the same thing and aren't taking up the same amount of time, it's hard to get that stuff done with 8 hours of sleep. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month. But I remember there was a point in my life where I was going to go all in on trying to be a media personality. And I was talking to people who I care about in life about it. And then I go, this is when my wife was my girlfriend. I go, bro, I might make $40,000 next year. What kind of life can me and her live off me making $40,000? No knock to anybody who's making $40,000 and making it. Good, man, good on you. But when you go from making over double that to dropping down, man, I tell you, dog, exclusive vodka was good when that's all I could afford. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm saying all this stuff to say you gotta you just start prioritizing what's important in your life. And so many people who are giving celebrities like a real brain space, like in their head, like giving them real space in their head. What else do you have going on? Like, Are you profiting from this? Like, it doesn't bother me that DJ Academics talks about what celebrities do because he's made millions of dollars off of. He's built a multi-million-dollar empire off talking about these people. So
Yeah,
good on
he's
him.
the most popular in his field.
Exactly.
For social media. He's the most popular.
Like he's him in that, right? But if I'm listening to like some of my homeboys or my homegirls or just random people I follow on Instagram, like having strong opinions on this shit, I go, you don't know them. They don't know you. They only want your money. And how is this benefiting your life? Like, what's your goal? Because I'll tell you, my goal in studying these stupid ass celebrities shit is to try to use these messages to get other black people to realize this shit's not important, and let's talk about something bigger. And we're gonna flip into that into like our next culture topic. But like that's what I use it for. Let me use a Cardi B lyric that y'all care about. Like, I don't cook, I don't clean, but I still got that ring. Let me tell you why she can still get that ring. Because she got her ass done. She got her tits done. She's fine as fuck. She's famous.
Yeah, she already looked good to begin with.
Right. She's rich. And she can pay to have the cooking and cleaning done better than she could ever do it herself. And she's probably a good hang.
We know someone that's attractive.
Okay.
Not an idiot.
Okay.
That if they got their body done and at the time of their come up of fame could have done some things in reality if they had did the same thing. Now, granted, this person's not
that name.
Okay.
Cause I think I know you're talking about, but just text me the name just so I can follow on.
There's only one person we know that's went viral. Like that. So like,
okay, yeah, we're on the same page. Got it.
This is somebody too, right? Like that was the first thing I was thinking because the initial day that happened, I got the phone call. We were on a group phone call. They called me or whatever, and I'm like, okay, cool. And I watched it, and we're talking about it, and I'm like, the first thing I'm thinking is that yo, you could actually kind of run with this a little bit if you like play it right, which it has still worked out well for her. But like at the same time, if she had done all those things too, she also could have been one of these fucking people because that's just the way that this shit works for whatever reason. And so, but she was comfortable. She's comfortable in her own skin too. So it's not one of those things that she felt like she needed to get done. But if she did get it done, she could have dropped the fucking record too. I look at Bad Baby as somebody in that same type of space who got her body done, who was underage, and people were like jailbait white ass, like type shit. Like that is really what that was. They're like, damn, look, and this isn't perverted. I'm just telling the truth. They're like, damn, this chick's got some like kind of some titties on her too. Like, and so like it turned into this thing to where once she got 18, then all this other stuff started happening. She dropped the record. It probably charted. Like, so she made money off that. Now she's OnlyFans and stuff. So like, there's like, it's like a, and they were saying she's like one of the top OnlyFans people. So like, it's smart if you can catch heat in a moment to parlay it to your future, your life. Like, you know what I mean? Like it makes a ton of sense, but
you got to have a plan for your viral moment, because if you just go viral and you don't have a plan, you're cooked.
Well, and she said, fuck it. We're going to do rap because that's what niggas like. Niggas like rap.
And the person you're talking about, we had a very interesting conversation. I remember telling that person.
In Dago?
No, it was in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
I had already left Dago.
You weren't there the last time we were all together. Yeah. Okay.
No, I was there that Friday, and then Saturday I had to leave Saturday morning because I was driving cross country. But
you were moving.
Yep. But no, I had a conversation in October, and I said, hey, don't let that word out there eat you up. Like, you know where you came from, you know who you are. Don't let them stick all them needles and shit in your face and tell you you need all this to look a certain way. You okay? And she was taken aback, and as she should have been, because I overstepped. But I was having a conversation with some guys at Buffalo Wild Wings the other day from the office. And they got it. Huh?
Go ahead. I just was asking, what do you order at B-Dubs? But
I ordered their brisket burger this particular day.
Okay, how was that? So.
I mean, it was good, but I wouldn't be like, "Hey, go get the brisket from B Dubs."
They do a good chicken strip hot dog. I know that sounds weird to say, but like they do like a chicken strip hot dog. That shit's actually pretty fucking good. Continue.
Never. So they get to talk a little bit of politics, and they were outraged about how
It's not really a hot dog, by the way. It's just a chicken strip in a hot dog bun, but it's good. I didn't want you to think I was ordering a hot dog with chicken on. Continue, please. I just wanted to clarify that.
Well, they got to a conversation that was not about politics necessarily. It was more about current events, but you start showing your political ideology because they were talking about how people with higher credit scores are now going to have to pay more on their mortgages to create more income for the government to help out poor people, right, or working class people. And my response was, well, what are you losing when you do that? And we're a community, right? We're supposed to work together as a community to help each other out. And they're like, no, I pay for the services and goods that I receive, but I do not just voluntarily give stuff away. And I'm playing devil's advocate because these are coworkers, not even coworkers, these are people who work for me. I'm not gonna give you my true political views, and I prefaced everything like, hey, I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm not getting into like my actual views here. And I go, okay, yeah, we're moving towards socialism, right? Look on social media. Look at Hollywood. They want us all to think the same. If you think differently, they cancel you. If you look differently, you can't get nowhere. Look at those women. Everybody high cheekbones, puffer lips. They're trying to look like a Kardashian. Everybody's gonna be fair skin, dark hair. You just wait 3 generations from now. We're all gonna look the same and think the same. Joking around, but somewhat serious because I have a little morbid view on the future of America. But the point I was making with our friend that you were talking about is, hey man, you ain't gotta look like everybody. You ain't gotta feel like you look like everybody else. Don't feel lesser than. Like, nah, you're greater than. You're good enough, and you've obviously achieved levels of success based upon what you offer and what you do.
And the type of family that you've come from too. Like I know her parents. So like that too. Like you come from something too. Like you're not yeah. like you went to the arguably maybe the best private school, one of the best private schools in America. Here. It's certainly the top one here, but like it's like literally one of the biggest ones in America.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So like I just think so much, and I guess it's nice to have those types of moments because what normally happens, I imagine, is that once you elevate into a certain bracket or a certain social status, you don't bring the other people up with you because they don't get it, they don't fit in, they're not into it. Like
some of them don't fit though. Like I don't think that people wouldn't want to like bring people up with them like if they didn't fit. Like if they brought something to the table to where they could fit. Like I think that for situations in life, I would know where to bring certain people. And when I say that, I don't mean it in a sense of none of my friends can't come to any room that I'm in, because I'm a whole proponent that is very much so the case. I think that, like, for instance, I'll give a vague example from even college. Matt invited me to a baseball game. You know why? Because Julian's not interested in going to see the Braves. Josh probably wasn't interested. Pierce is going to be interested because Pierce not only gives a fuck about Braves baseball, but like he's going to really, he'll appreciate this too. So, and I did, and we had a ball. This man invited me, and not to get away from the point, but he invited me to Chipper Jones's last game, the first MLB wild card game, the infield fly rule game.
You were at that game?
Me and Matt went. We had tickets in the 400s. Matt came to my room. This is first semester freshman year. Matt came to my room and was like, hey, are you trying to go to this baseball game? Braves. And I'm like, yeah, man, bro, let's get to Turner Field. Like, you know what I mean? We got there. I don't even remember how we got there, but we got there because Uber wasn't existent then. So I guess we got a taxi, or I didn't drive. So, I don't know how we got there. We didn't walk. We played the Cardinals, but this is the thing.
I was at that game in the 400s.
We went. He had tickets in the 400s. When I shit you not, we snuck down to the second row in the outfield, and we asked. There was an usher down there. Everything. They're like, yeah, the people haven't showed up. Like, and we sat there the entire game. We were a part of throwing on the field, beer bottles and stuff. And obviously, we had fakes, so we had beer and we got nachos. Ask Matt next time you see Matt, and we can talk about, like, literally, he'll tell you. But point being, it wasn't necessarily that anyone else around Matt couldn't have gone, but he knew who to invite to do this. Like, you know what I mean? Because he knew who not only would appreciate it, but this makes sense. This makes better sense. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, look, as somebody who had, we could talk about homecoming, right? I decided to go to the AUC club event for homecoming week. I told y'all I was going. I said y'all are welcome to come.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't invite y'all. I knew y'all wasn't coming. I knew y'all had no interest in coming. I know my friends, and the friends that I went with were the people who I knew wanted to do that shit. And then we got there and it was like, bro, why the fuck do we do this shit? But it
makes sense. If that makes sense. I'm just saying, like there's just certain. But there are also read the room, but then there's also certain situations too where you know where to take somebody out of their comfort zone too, to invite them to something that, like, it's not like, oh, this is a better event than what you're used to, but more so of this might not fit your fucking landscape of life. Like even over here, like this shit's like this shit's like an art district now. So it's like,
I'm hip.
I want to take y'all to Peter Street Station. I really do, because it's actually a good time.
I've been over there to bullshit, but yeah, I'm I'm about it.
Have you hung out with my neighbor? Like, I have a European neighbor, right? Like,
yeah, I've hung out with him at the house.
But what about, did we go out to one of them weird ass like 4 a.m. parties?
I was incoherent when we went, remember?
Yeah, you know what? You did come once. But this is my point. Right? Like, so, like, I appreciate it for what it is, like, type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in it either, but it's also a great space to meet other people, different people. Like,
speaking of meeting other people, once football season starts, some of those games where I go upstairs, you need to come with me.
Bring me up, man. If they'll allow me, I'm definitely always open.
I am more than confident they will allow me to bring you up. Because there's, from what I've been told, there's some Atlanta black royalty up there. And if I had to spat off a resume up there, you're doing business in the city already. I'm a fuck nigga if I don't bring you up there.
Well,
I mean, that's just how that's how I look at stuff. Like, once, and this is still where we're at, right? Once you start seeing opportunities for your friends,
how can I help? Exactly. Like, and I know that this person, like, is in this.
Yeah, bro. Like, why would you not make the introduction? Why would you not have the conversation? You know, like that interview that we haven't done, but that we can do. It's like that somebody said, "Hey, I see what my friend is doing. I'm supporting the friend. I'm supporting the family just off of the strength. It doesn't even matter about anything else."
He actually just messaged me. He messaged me 2 days ago. He's here. Okay. He's here. We can link. I promise you, bro. We can get. That is not an issue, especially. But now it makes more sense now that it's summer and the season is over. It's gonna make so much more sense even now to really get it done, and especially. And I already told him even ahead of time when we were initially gonna do it. I said, bro, we only need an hour of your time. Like, that's it. And if you want to do the rest of it, I said for sure. But like,
Hey,
I was
we
like,
gonna hang
just
out.
for you,
Right.
specifically on you. Now, if you want to talk about the other stuff we're talking about, that's on you. But yeah, but he's fair game. Like I know he'll definitely do it. But like, but yes, this is my point. Whenever you can whenever there can be something that benefits others, and you know about it, and you know this is something that would benefit them, why wouldn't you introduce it if you know somebody that's in that field? If I knew somebody that worked in the hair care field, Jay Briggs would be the first person I would introduce them to because he works in it. So, like, you know what I mean? Because I know that he's a willing participant and he knows other people in it too, and he's successful at like what he does. So, like, and I hate always bringing him up, but he's a great example for me. Like I love Jordan to death, and I've known Jordan since I was in high school. But but he's a great example of it. Like same thing. If it's handyman shit, my brother is one of the best. One of my brother, he just is getting his contracting license with the state. But my brother's been doing great work. He's been doing great work for a minute, and he works with and has shadowed for years now. The person that even did my parents' house, did everything in their house, Georgia Tech grad, Charles Cash, one of the best to do it. Like he's a good dude. Like he's an older white guy now. Like he's really older now. But I'm talking 15, 16, 17 years ago, he was fucking doing my parents' house. And he was over there all the time. My parents spent a lot of money on that shit. And like, but even with that, he was able to connect with him, learn under him too. But he would be somebody that I would want to bring in on a subject like that. And this is somebody that's been to jail, not jail, prison. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are many different things. I'd love to have my brother on, to be completely honest with you, especially if we ever got into like something regarding more of those type of topics. Not the greatest for sports. I don't think Donis knows that much.
Well, bro, we can talk. We can always turn the sports thing off because what people don't know is when we actually hang out together or when we're in our group text,
we talk sports, but probably sports is maybe 35, 40%, but like really it's more other stuff.
Yeah, like there's other stuff we talk about because let me tell y'all something. I remember one time, this was when we were doing the show with JP Still. And you hit me up. He was like, "Hey man, I want to come on the pod and talk more than just sports, bro. Like I can talk more than sports." And I go, "Well, yeah, nigga, I know you can. Like I talk to you every day. Like I wouldn't put you in a sports box. I just don't have a lot of sports people."
Right.
I tell you what, boy. Let me tell you something. And we're on the back end of the pod, so I can say this. I don't miss doing interviews from people who like did not prep to be interviewed. I do not miss that for nothing.
Not at all.
No. And you know how hard it is to do an interview with somebody, especially when you know them, and they're giving you like 1 and 2 word answers, especially if they have a business or they're artists, and I could actually like poke holes in what it is that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like get something salacious, but hey, bro, I know your grandmama, man. I ain't gonna bring you on here and do you like that, man.
Right. Bro, I'm not here to roast. I'm here to
no, exactly. But it's like, hey, man, you're a small town artist. You sound like Gunna and Young Thug, and you are close to Atlanta, where Gunna and Young Thug are from. I understand the influence, but how do you actually expect to make it in rapping sound like Gunna and Young Thug when people can actually get the real Gunna and Young Thug? You don't want to ask that question to somebody you know.
Yeah, and T-Pain did something once where he talked about that. He's like, do something different. Like he was going off about that shit.
Well, and that was my thing, because there's a rapper I bring on every so often. LaDon, shout out to my guy, LaDon. He does not sound like a Georgia rapper. You know, you can tell he
with the UK guy once too.
Yeah, got me in trouble.
He got you in trouble?
Yeah.
How?
We got to talk.
We talk about it on here if you don't want.
No. We got to talk, and then my wife took something out of context, and I was like, "Hey," it was like the first time that like she caught a clip of me saying some salacious single male type shit, and I'm like, "Yo,
what do you mean by that?"
Yeah, it's like, yo, I'm doing an interview. Like, I need you to understand, like, when I'm interviewing, I'm relating. and I'm pulling from stories from
my past,
my entire past, so where I can get this guy
resonate with what we're talking about.
Yeah, like
because I can't be like, oh, well, you know me, I got a girl, man. I don't deal with that no more.
Yeah,
no, at one point I didn't have a girl. So prior to me having a girl, this is me.
Yeah.
And more importantly, you may not know necessarily, like, that'd be like me, think about it, that'd be like me talking about like my dad. Like I only know my dad being married to my mom. But in reality, I've had conversations with my dad where I'm like, and I don't take anything, I'm not taken aback by anything he says. That nigga went to school where we went to school too. So I know that my dad was fucking some spelling, and my dad played basketball, obviously there, team captain, whole thing. And granted, it ain't like Morehouse is this D1 Duke or nothing, but I'm just saying, my dad's 6'5", black dude. Like, I know that he was pulling business.
Yeah, he has some juice.
And with been juggling my mom along with other women, he married my mom at the end of the day. But I'm just saying, like, but he has to understand, especially my mom's gone now, to even more so. So now I'm like, it's whatever. I don't care. Like,
because the thing with those conversations, I find it so funny when like a child wants to have some outburst to how their parent is living, right? Whether it's parent treating other parent, or parents have split up, or other parent passed away, and the parent who's still living is trying to move on, right?
Yeah.
Well, how you living? Like, have you cheated on your girl? Hold on. You can cheat on your girl, but your daddy can't cheat on your mama because that's your mama. I ain't saying that either one is right.
No, but listen to yourself, type shit. Yeah, because it's just like, you don't. But what's the difference? He's you. Y'all basically, that's as close to you as you're gonna ever get, because without them, it ain't no you. So it's like, that's you.
But that's my mama though.
Well, they weren't married.
Like,
and then you just looking at them, and it's just like, I don't know.
I had to tell my mom one day, because she was thinking that I was gonna be like super jealous that if she started dating. I go, no, I want you to date, so somebody else can talk to you about the stuff that I don't want to talk to you about. This is before me and my wife got together, where now it's easy. Like, oh, I'm married, got a kid, I ain't got time for that shit.
I want you to be happy.
Yeah, I want you to be happy. And then she brought up this one time we were at someone's house. And I guess this guy was trying to pitch with my mom, but he like stares at her ass blatantly in front of me. And I'm a grown man. Like, this is not me like 17.
This is she was dating, or you're saying you went out and the dude was doing it?
No, we were at like a cookout at somebody's house, and the dude said a couple like little slick things. My mama wasn't having it, but he's just like eyes on her ass. And I'm just sitting there like, hey man, I was like,
but it's still my mom. Like,
yeah, I'm like, hey, you like what you see, huh? And he kind of looked. I said, yeah, man, like, bro, you can like glance, keep it moving, bro. Like, I'm not mad at you trying to holler. Go holler, shoot your shot. Like, let me tell you, last week took the wife out for dinner, date night, right? We took Lil Low out with us too. We decided to do a date night. The busboy just keeps staring at our table. He just keeps staring at her. And it gets to the point for me, I'm like, hey man, you gonna holler at her, or you just gonna keep looking? I'm not even on some jealous, why you looking at my girl type shit, why you looking at my wife type shit. I'm like, hey man, look, she know who she rolls.
I get it. No, well, more importantly, it's just like, hey man, I get it. That's why I need to lock it down.
Yeah, bro, she put that shit on. But stop looking at my fucking table, man. I'm trying to eat. And if you got something you want to say to her, shoot. She might like it. You might have a chance. I doubt it. Because then she gonna have to relocate, and then custody battle be disgusting. And I'm not making light of me and my wife's relationship or saying none of that. But the thing is, like, dude, me as a single guy, you can't just keep looking at some woman and not holler at her. Like, what we doing?
Yeah. And so let me tell you, that's one of the things I've had to deal with myself, and I'm not married though, obviously. But whenever I went out of town, specifically with my daughter's mother, you see it. So she's a relatively chesty person, and so like the thing is that I could be on the beach somewhere, and a lot of people will get this. I'm telling you, man, I deal with it. So like, you deal with this type of stuff like out in public, and like now nobody is dumb enough to really try something because it's pretty apparent who you're there with, all this other thing. Unless if somebody wants to do that, that's typically them literally wanting to start trouble. And then even then, you got to be smarter than them at that mind game of like, all right, man, like like, I don't know how you played this play out in your head, but you've already lost. Like, bro, you're gonna get a 4-yard loss here no matter what. Now the real question is, am I gonna really whoop your ass or something? Like, then that's when there's other factors that come into stuff like that. But when it comes into the actual, you're gonna take her from me type shit, it's just like, bro, that ain't happening. So it's just like, I get it. It's nice, right? It's nice. I've been out of town single or with my friends. We're at the beach. We see plenty with dudes with their girlfriend, and we're like, man, oof. Or we might not even know they had a boyfriend and could have ran up on them, and then the boyfriend comes in, it's like shaking hands type shit. But like, now you can tell, they're obviously here with someone, and maybe you take me as somebody that's weak or something, and like doesn't fuck right, like anything like that. It could be any type of dumbass shit, like, and so it's those situations, they can get out of hand quickly.
Yeah.
But if you let them, but if you're mature and it's whatever, like, I get it, bro. You like it, me too. I was like, you think you like it? Imagine how much I like it.
I know it a little bit better than you.
Huh?
I say I know a little bit better than you. We got a kid.
Well, me too.
Exactly. Like,
yeah. So
everything you really know.
I'm like, bro, you don't even know the problems that come with that. Like, you don't even know.
Well, when you find your soulmate, there are no problems. That's a joke. Nobody's perfect. Speaking of nobody being perfect, Ebony K. Williams went viral for some comments she made in an interview. Well, while she was interviewing, I can't pronounce that lady's name, so I'm not going to try to pronounce it. But they were talking about really just reuniting the Black family. And as Black women are starting to ascend more and gain more success, we have, I think, like 2-to-1 Black women attending colleges or HBCUs than Black men. More Black women are starting to make more money than Black men. Black women are one of the highest demographics getting mortgages now. So Black women are out here winning professionally. But I don't need statistics. I can just go to my Instagram timeline to tell you that same success is not happening like at home. Because how many nice looking, successful women do you know who graduated from Spelman who are
single?
I was gonna say not close to being in a serious relationship, but yes, single.
Okay, that's the same. They mean the same, right?
Yeah.
Well, not close. That's a little bit deeper than single.
Well, yeah, I was trying to say it nicer than single, but yeah, how many of these girls are single and like, oh, these are legit like 8.5s with good degrees and good jobs and real ass bitch give a fuck about a nigga. And in that conversation, it was really the purpose of it was grabbing that feminine energy, and too many women are living in masculine energy, trying to be confrontational, trying to be braggadocious, you know, having testosterone type stuff like, hey, I do this, so I should get that type stuff. And the woman asked Ebony K. Williams, like, would you marry a bus driver? And she said if he owned the bus. And then she got killed for that. I'm not mad. Look here, man.
What was her response?
Huh?
She's the one asking the question.
No, she was asked the question. Let me see if I actually saved this.
What was her response though?
If he owned the bus.
Oh, that was her response. That wasn't a part of the question. That was the response to the question.
She said, yeah, would you marry a bus driver? And date a bus driver. And she said, if he owned the bus. And then she got beat up for that, pretty much saying, like, how are you having a conversation centered around what do Black women need to do in order to enhance their relationships and improve their relationships with Black men? But now all of a sudden you're putting a financial standard on the man that you want. Well, she goes on the Breakfast Club, I guess, clarify or confront them for commenting on her comments. Mm-hmm. And she kind of just doubled down. Pretty much what she got away from what the point that she made to try to make a bigger point. That as Black people, we need to stop accepting mediocrity. And she explained mediocrity, but she used mediocrity to put people down, but then said mediocrity just means you're average, which is true. Mediocrity is in the middle. It means you're just average.
That's a fact.
But the way we use mediocre, we don't use mediocre or mediocrity to say average. We mean it to say you're below average. Quote, like that's just how people use it. So
that's fair.
And they were trying to explain to her, well, it's not seen that way. And she's using the dictionary definition. But long story short, she's a woman who wants a guy to protect and provide. And as a lawyer and as a $1 million TV host, she does not find many men who want to protect and provide. So, Parlay Pete, here's what I bring to you. I'm never going to knock somebody for what their preference is in dating.
Okay.
Or for a relationship. But I will tell you that the more stipulations you add that are already, you know, in that top 30%,
mm-hmm.
You start to slim down your dating pool to a very small group of people who meet you or start the conversation. And if you have a small pool of people that you even start a conversation with, you have even less people that you can actually find a relationship with. And I do believe now in a society where women have the ability to make and earn as much or more than men, as shown, the priorities for a relationship are different.
They are.
I don't think every woman should look for protect and provide. Hey, shorty, if you're making $250,000 a year, you might just need protection. You don't need provisions. You got the provisions. And I know I'm going long here, but I also think people are going into relationships thinking about themselves and not the relationship. Because it's like, well, I got my own money. He needs to have his own money. Well, that ain't how that shit works.
That's not how it works. And everybody should know that, from Pat, like, you know, maybe your mom or your dad struck gold advice. Like, maybe it worked that way on that end. But at the end of the day, first of all, I don't know anyone that knows a perfect society or a perfect scenario. And for some, this is the best part. This is what love really is, right? It ain't perfect, but it feels perfect.
Yeah.
Right? That's what makes it right. Like, what makes it feel right. Like, it may not even be exactly what you dreamed of as a kid or maybe it doesn't get to exactly what it is. I just hit black. Yeah, I'm over here playing roulette. I had to parlay. I'm hot right now. Here, I'm done. But point being, it's not like that in a sense of everything's not going to fall the way that you want it to fall. And to me, that's what creates the character in the person, really. And it's not necessarily, I don't want to quote Herman Boone and Remember the Titans who said it? Basically that adversity introduces a man to himself, right? And so the negative moments in life anyways create kind of what makes it perfect. Like you've probably been in relationships, you had been in relationships prior to getting married, and you are so thankful that you even had those relationships prior to getting married because it made you the perfect person that you could be for your wife, right?
Let me tell you something, probably people. I used to be somebody who wanted to be in that power couple, right? I'm doing this, she's doing that, blah, 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 blah. That shit sounds real good on paper until you start breaking down them 24 hours in that day. And how do you divide up these 24 hours to properly accommodate one another? How do you divide up these 365 days to properly accommodate one another? Oh shit, let's throw a kid in there. Well, I'm so focused on my career, my side hustle, and my pride. I'm not taking a step back to be the primary caregiver for the kid. Like I'm secondary. Like I'm gonna spend the money. I'm gonna help out when I get off from work. But like yeah. And she goes, well, I'm making 25% more than you. So it makes more sense for you to take a step back than me. And yeah, right. And here's what I don't want to do that. And you go, shit, we're at a crossroads, right? And it really takes you doing that self-check. What's important to me? Fuck what's important to the optics. What do I care about in my life that I want a partner to care about and to ensure that this relationship works? Because I've said this, I think I've said it on this podcast, but I told my wife this shit not too long ago. And I said, I had an ex tell me, love ain't enough to make me stay. And when I was young, I was like, fuck you mean? Like, we love each other, and we should work this shit out. And as I've gotten older, love ain't enough to make a relationship work. Man, you can love somebody, but if y'all don't know how to operate, y'all don't have the same values, you don't know how to compliment them, you know, if this certain thing makes them upset that you like to do, if you don't know how to manage that and manage your desires versus their desires, like, hey, I got Falcon season tickets. And when I get to harping on my wife about the fucking budget, and she goes, you spend XXX on football tickets, and I don't even go to the football games with you. I go, you've got a point. Clear the Amazon cart.
Well, right. And this is a give and take type thing. And more importantly, we both have our things like that we like. And but that's what makes it the relationship that it is overall in general, because it's just like she's able to even bring that to your attention and be like, well, hold on now, I do this, and there might be something that she has a guilty pleasure of you may not ever want to watch. What was the show Matt was on?
Oh no, I love that show.
No, Brad, Matt was on the show
Back in the Groove.
But let's say it's a show similar, like you have no interest like whatsoever. And then you're like, but you can bring that up, and you're just like, well, I want to watch football tonight. Like, we watch this shit, like, or whatever it is. But like, that's the give and take aspect of the relationship, right?
Exactly, and that's what's important, is understanding the give and take. And for mainly you single people out there who haven't like lived, like cohabitated with a partner, all your give and take is not financial, but some of what you give and you take is financial. Like some of it's money, some of it's your time, your feelings, your emotions, all of that stuff. But all of that builds the pie that is the relationship. I think too often we focus on the money part of the relationship. And let me tell you, if you as a combined household make $120,000 a year, you're okay. I ain't saying you're great, but you are okay to live a decent life, meet most of your financial needs. Even if you're in some debt, you should be able to fucking pay enough on your debt to still live a decent life, have a decent credit score, and be okay. And just keep kicking that can down the road, because the people who you owe debt to, they don't want you to pay it off anyways. They want you to keep paying interest.
They
Okay?
want interest on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but when people just focus on the money aspect of it, it's like, well, do you make this individual happy?
I
Can you
hate
cook?
money. I hate money. Like I like it, but like I hate it. Like I hate money personally because I'm somebody, I don't have a ass ton of money, but like I've done all right. And so like,
Not poor.
no, I'm not exactly. I ain't rich. So like, but like I've done okay. And the thing is, even with my gambling habit, now look, I've lost an ass ton of money too, but I've won a lot too. And one of the things that I hate about money is that it's made me get to the point of where I love a minimalist. Well, it's a good thing, actually, really. I like a minimalist type of approach to life anyways. Like I really don't care too much about a lot of different things. Now, some people will be like, well, then why is it that if you get a hotel, you have to stay a certain place? Whatever with that. And I'm not brushing that off, but what I'm saying is that I also like wearing white t-shirts, black t-shirts from Amazon Basics that are 8 a pack for like $19. I don't give a fuck about my clothes anymore. I love wearing my New Balances. Like I dress a certain way. I like my creativity's in my hat and my shoes, and I might have my Rolex or something on, but like I don't really care even about, bro. I don't even wear my watches. Like I don't even wear my jewelry like that. So it's like I hate the idea of money because of things like that. It makes people think. I like eating good. I'd rather spend a ton of money on eating some good ass food, and we know the restaurant's gonna hit, than like to, I don't know, make an unnecessary purchase. Like I don't know. Like I don't really care for stuff.
The best money spent at Boink's bachelor party was on dinner.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad, bro, that we did it, because
Like,
that's
exactly.
It was worth it. And I wish, I'm gonna be honest, when we did the roast session, obviously I won't get into the roast session itself, but I wish I was more prepared because I didn't know that we were really doing it. And for one, Julian's the one that nailed it on the head in terms of what a roast should be, because I know what a roast is, but I'm like, damn, I've got to sit up here. Do I need to say some negative things or just things I peep? I don't know. But like at the same time, I didn't really, and I went first. So like, I didn't really know what to say. So I'm like, well, boy, I don't have too much shit to say about you anyways. And, but even in a situation like that, if I could go back, I gotta be like, well, I don't have too much to say about you, boy. You're a Boy Scout, right? but see, these are things now. If I could go back, I could do it differently.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. But this was also the first time we've done anything. Because even Nico's wasn't not like it wasn't. Well, I know, but even that wasn't like that. That was us going out and partying. That's what that was. That's kind of, but just little instances like that, you know, I wish, because it would have made the night even better, low key, if we all were on the same accord from that perspective. But the dinner was great. The food was,
we need to plan that shit out for gambles.
Oh, I can't wait, because we'll see, he's a goof. That's a goofy motherfucker too. Yeah, that's a goofy motherfucker. So we can really, especially if it's planned to where, because this is even the funnier part. Josh is the only one out of the group that was there in Tampa that was at Nigo's too. So it was on.
Well, we lost Parlay Pete in the middle of a great story. What I imagine happened is he allowed his computer to die. So unfortunately, you have to look at my terrible background. We got the baby bassinet. We got this curtain, Falcons country on the other side, but he'll be back shortly. In the meantime, yeah, bachelor parties are fun, man. Marriage is fun. Relationships are fun. And it's so important while you're in a relationship to just care. Just care. Care about the person you're with. Okay, he's back here.
I had no idea what that was, but I really don't. I don't know what just happened. It just randomly went off. But I'm back now. Either way,
welcome back,
goofy motherfucker. I hate to. Yeah. I don't know what soliloquy you just went into, but goofy motherfucker. So yeah, we have to definitely plan that one out. We need to get yours too when you make the decision on, because you still need to have one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have one.
Yeah, you still.
I really want to go to DR.
Yeah. When I look at everybody in the group, I don't know who would be, because we're about to get hit with back-to-back weddings. And so I don't know who would be next. Like, I can assure you, even for me, let's say I got engaged next year, early next year, for instance, I'm not putting don't take anything away from that. But let's just say even I was next, right? I know Jude's not going to be next, or Julian. For the people listening, Julian, I know he won't be next. Josh is like a dark horse, low key, in my opinion.
Yeah,
JP's not going to be there. Justice isn't either.
I'll probably be next.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You would be the next one, anyways. Like,
once I get this, honestly, now it's
Matt's not gonna be next. Like you got, this is a good thing too. We're about to have a ratio where almost half the group is married. So it's like, it makes it even better because it's like half the dudes are married. So
it makes it so much easier to hang out.
The wives cannot assume something and be like, you're going out with a bunch of single dudes. It's like, no, half the niggas are married. Like, so nobody can feel a type of way because half the group is gonna be more on one thing. And then the other half's gonna be on another. And then there's gonna be somebody in the middle. There's girlfriends or whatever for the non-married people. There's only but so much that they're gonna want to do too. And so,
and that's the fun of it, which I am looking forward to, and also not looking forward to my wife meeting the good old Julian Turner.
They've never met?
No.
Like, at all?
No. And granted, I've not done anything that.
Well, Jude's just gonna be he's like, you got yourself a good man. But Jude's gonna say it in this condescending way. Where she's gonna look over and I'm just gonna be like, no, that's just him, I promise. But I'll be the reassurance, maybe even be like
without her knowing.
And I'll be like, I know him. I was like, I met him before anyone in the group. It's me and him met each other first. So I can assure you that's just his nature as a person. And then I'll look at her and I'll be like, he doesn't even believe in God. Just look at it. I'm telling you, this is just him. Like,
without her knowing him, it's just little shit that he can say that it's gonna be when I get back to the hotel room, I'm gonna be like, let me tell you her introduction to Julian. Sorry, was she and I had been on the outs, and I talked about some in the group, and then when she came to visit, and it was during the Georgia first natty, and I had already shattered my phone that night, so I could still answer calls, but I couldn't really do much. And Julian soft ass nigga. Oh, I'm gonna get back with my girl ass nigga. Oh, I thought we was done ass nigga. Yeah. And he just going on. Yes, y'all were together. Y'all were in the battery. Y'all were calling me to come down there, and I couldn't.
Oh, the natty. Yes. Yeah, Georgia, the first one.
Yes, and I'm trying to hang up the phone because I'm like,
good night, by the way. But
yeah, it was. Yeah. But I'm trying to hang up the phone. I'm like, yo, Julian, I what you're saying is funny amongst guys.
It's not funny when me and my girl are sitting in here and you're on speaker.
Exactly. And then I probably hang up the phone, which hanging up the phone doesn't help either. She goes, well, why are you hanging up the phone?
Exactly. You're putting those positions.
I'm like, no, he's just going to keep saying dumb shit and you don't know him. So you don't know he's being funny to get you riled up because he finds that funny. you're going
Right.
to think he's actually disclosing information that I don't want him to disclose. Mind you, I ain't seen this man in like 3-4 years.
Had y'all not seen each other in 3 or 4 years? You didn't see. Gosh, when's the last time
No,
you saw him?
I take it back. I saw him one time in
San
he came
Diego.
to San Diego one time. Yeah, I caught him in San Diego one time.
Before you left, he was.
Yeah. That was my first time seeing him since Vegas.
God, really? You know, but you know what? That's another thing we
That
got.
was my first time seeing Gambles. No, I take that back. I saw Gambles. I went down to Hanford to hang out with Gambles and Boink. When I went to Hanford, that was the first time I saw Gamble since college.
Okay.
Like I've seen more Gambles in the last 3 years than I did in the previous 4, 5, however many years it's been. I've been out of college since 20. Ooh, golly.
Well,
Coming up on that 9 year.
This was your first homecoming. I was like, damn, bro, I've been to like 5, like since I graduated. And that's why I was like, damn, you know what? When I think about it, I'm like, you really have not been to homecoming. So like I've seen bits and pieces of everybody at least for homecoming, no matter what. And
hang out when I was from home and when you would come to California.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so that's another part of it. Like of everybody, I probably went out there more than anyone. Now, granted, I do a little bit of work out there, but I would travel out to California. Like I see Josh. I definitely see Josh every year. It's like me and Josh see each other. Dale was somebody I had not seen in a long time.
Nobody.
When he got here that day, I had not seen Dale. Dale was the one that I haven't seen.
Was the last time you saw Dale?
Even Nico, I see Nico too. So like,
was Dale All-Star Weekend?
Matt was just here last weekend. I saw Matt because he came over to get his keys. He left during homecoming. But even I just saw Matt Saturday. It hadn't even been a full 7 days. It hadn't even been a full 6 days since I've seen Matt. So like I saw Matt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so
I haven't seen Matt.
I will see everybody for the most part.
I haven't seen Nico since I lived in San Diego when he would come out. And he came last time I saw Nico. Yeah, last time I saw Nico though, I blacked out, and I'm pretty sure I was too drunk and probably said something out of line to somebody who he grew up with.
Okay.
This was like 2017, though. 2018.
Yeah.
You got anything else, man? We kind of just talked about a bunch of stuff, and we don't really like celebrity worship.
Well, because we're not celebrity worshipers. Gosh, let me think.
Let me see if there's
nothing off
else.
the top of my head that I can think of that at least relates to Culture Hour.
You care about
if you wanted to get into the Putin thing and the apparent assassination attempt. I mean, yeah. I mean, outside of that,
I don't want to. I just look at it as everyone is doing what they think is best to protect their interests. You see, Florida's turning into like a political hotbed between DeSantis fighting Disney and the restrictions that they're putting on immigrants or undocumented immigrants.
Right.
Which I'll tell you real quick about this undocumented immigrants thing. I'm torn.
Oh.
What?
No, something just popped up. I just checked the group. Colin Cowherd, and I know this doesn't have nothing to do with culture necessarily, because we already did football. Colin Cowherd took a look at the early NFL over-under win totals, which I guess now they would be kind of solidified.
Yeah.
8.5 wins. Atlanta is the safest under bet. So
8.5, that's a lot.
Well, so us and Carolina are 8.5, while Tampa is 7.5. And New Orleans is 9.5. And so, but the fact that he thinks we're the safest, But that's okay. That means he doesn't believe in Desmond Ridder either, is what that tells me. Because anything else outside of Desmond Ridder should not sway anyone from the Falcons. Basically, you take the over if you think that he's going to be decent. If you think that he's going to even be decent, to me, if he can be fucking Andy Dalton rookie year,
yeah, I just wouldn't.
I think we'll go 10-7 if he's Andy Dalton rookie year.
As someone, I listen to Colin every day. I wouldn't care what Colin said. Like I just would not care about what Colin said. Colin does not
too
about Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe this at all. But
I don't either. I hope we didn't. Why would we call about Kyler Murray? The mayor of Musk.
We probably wouldn't have to give up a 1 or anything to get him. Probably. That would be the only thing I could think is that he probably was for cheap. If we, because you're basically not going to have him this year. So that would mean that maybe we were giving up 2 2s and maybe a 4 or something, and then we have to take on the contract. So I don't know. I don't put any stock into this, but
yeah, I don't either.
But under 8.5 is the safest bet for Atlanta. Interesting.
Well, we won 7 games 3 years in a row.
2. What did we win before that? We were like 4-12.
That's right. Yeah. We won 7 games. I mean, under 8.5.
It depends on Ridder, bro. It depends on Ridder. I think that offensively, we are more talented from skill position alone and what we expect out of these skill position players. And if the expectation meets belief, which I guess they're one and the same, but like if that happens, if he is supposed to be one of the top running backs in the league already, and Kyle Pitts is a top 5 tight end, and Drake London can be a top 15 wide receiver, we do, and Jonnu Smith, Cordell Patterson, Tyler Algier, you add those 3 with it, realistically, we have the best skill players in the division. We do. Tampa, many would argue maybe Tampa, but like Tampa really doesn't have a run game, and they didn't run the ball well last year. Carolina signed guys. They signed guys, but more of that is on people thinking that Bryce Young's going to be really good or something like year 1 for them. And then with New Orleans, they have the most established quarterback, but even skill position wise, Slant Boy's not healthy. Alvin Kamara might, who knows how many games he's going to play. He's getting suspended. So he's going to get suspended regardless of what happens. He's out 6 game minimum.
You got to suspend that though.
More. If he gets convicted or like something bad happens, bro, he's out the year. So they won't have him. They have Taysom Hill. Dennis Allen's still the coach. I don't know. I think that us winning 9 games isn't far-fetched if Ridder has a pulse. It's all about Ridder for me. If Ridder's got a pulse, why not? I bet that if I believe in Ridder.
What did Dennis Allen do to you? What did Dennis Allen do to you? I think he's a great NFL coach.
I think I remember when I was playing Madden back in 2005 and he was the fucking coach of the Raiders and just looking up and he looked stupid with his fucking nose and like all this stuff and the Raiders were just sucking dick. And then I got to watch the Saints this year and they beat us twice and they still only won 7 games. Like stuff like that is why I don't like them. They won 7 games just like we did and they beat us twice. So we're talking over 25% of their wins were Falcon wins, and they still won the same amount of games as us. And you have to think, are they going to sweep us next year? Probably not. Even if we split, they're not going to sweep us next year. So if they were a 5 or 6 win team last year for real, because we should have won game 1, and we could have won the second game low key.
Well, here's what the NFL needs to do with the schedule. They need to make that Falcon Saints home game a thing every year. That first game.
We'll get to see, and that's and that actually this is a great way to even close out the show to begin with. we'll get to see, because by the next time we're on, I imagine they said that the show, which we'll get to figure out what day we're gonna shoot, but like Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, is the target date for that. And so I'm excited. The NFL schedule release, low key, unless it's like a game 5 where it's 2-2, is going to get all the attention. It's going to get all the attention because
I know I care about
it. And we want to know, man, how many primetime games are the Jets, the new Broncos? Like, Russell Wilson goes to Denver and like they had like 6. It felt like they were on TV every other week. Do we get to see Aaron, because he's in New York and it's Aaron Rodgers and the Jets do have a good young core? Are they going to be on TV every other week?
Yeah, they're going to be on TV all the time.
Dallas added Brandon Cooks. Was like the NFL is the best TV show on TV.
Rate and show it.
It's season 60s. No, it's not season 60 yet.
Look here. Here's what I'm looking forward to.
59 or something.
I'm looking forward to that schedule because there's a good chance that I make a trip to New Orleans for that away game.
I'll be there. If you go, I will go.
I tell you, New Orleans is easy for me because she has family there. I have family there. And I can be like, hey, football game. Hang out. I'll be back. And I'm going to take you up on that fucking Jets offer too, by the way.
No, we have to do New York. Well, New York is a guarantee on my end for obvious reasons.
I've not got my permission slip signed on that one, but I may just.
New York is such a fun, like, bro. I used to hate New York City. If we ever get into a travel aspect of this show too, I hate New York. I used to. I'm sorry. I used to hate New York. Like, everything about it sucked, in my opinion. And I think because when the first few times I went there as an adult, it was always cold. And I went there as a kid too, because my mom's from Delaware, and sometimes we didn't fly to New York.
Trips as a kid don't count.
It's just overrated. It was overrated to me as an adult. If I had the money, I would honestly, if there's a place that I'd be more okay with moving there if the weather didn't suck so much than California. And I love LA. So like, I would move to New York if their weather didn't suck. I like it up there a lot. It's fun.
In my career transition, I've looked at jobs in that area to where, can I get a job that would allow me to live in Jersey? And
every night is something different. That's what I love about it. Like, you can do, it just feels like, I don't know. I like that. I like that about that. Like, I like it.
I was just looking at some of the jobs, and I'm like, can I get a job that's going to pay me enough to hit the train into the city and still be able to buy a 3-bedroom house?
Where are you gonna go to Hoboken?
That area-ish, yeah. Because there's a part of me, like, I want to do 5 years in New York.
Yeah.
My family may not want to do that. We'll work through that one.
Yeah.
It's just,
if you move to New York, you have a kid too, just like me, but y'all are married. So like, y'all are all moving as a unit. The thing with New York, yeah, because you want to live in a house, obviously.
Yeah. I would want to live in Jersey.
What part of life are you in? Like, what age is she? Like, you know what I mean? Like, like the schooling. Like, I don't know. A lot of it certainly matters there, right? Like, that's a part of it. It's so crazy when you get older. Like, there's so many more factors than just, oh, I just want to be here because of this. Like, or something.
Here's the thing. If I move back to Cartersville because that move makes sense, because I like housing prices, I got to throw into my mortgage when I'm paying for private school.
Dad hour. So are you on the train? Let me tell you, I had a conversation with my dad today.
Okay.
Are you on the train of um, private school the whole way?
Depending on where I live, I feel like it's harder with a girl, right? Because with a boy, I can never put you in private school, but I can put you in sports leagues in the right place and have you playing pickup in the right place to where you still ain't no soft nigga. You still like is cool with niggas who ain't coming from maybe what you coming from, so you're grounded and all of that stuff. But with a girl, it's a little bit different. And as a guy, I don't know that difference, right? But it just depends on the neighborhood. Like, hey, if I get a great job at Lockheed Martin making 250 and I can just get a house in Alpharetta or East Cobb,
Right.
we're going to public all the way through.
Right.
But if I'm living the way I'm probably going to be living, nice house in a lesser school district zone, we're paying for private school, like, because
Yeah.
I explained this to the wife the other day. Private school really isn't about the curriculum for me, because look here, Georgia's not a great education state, but if you're smart, you're smart, dog. Like, if you're smart, you're smart. You'll be okay. But what the private school does is it changes your network, and
Network.
it changes your aspirations because of the people you're around.
Exactly. Like
Like,
not to be envious of what the people around you are doing, but you're looking at it from a perspective of, well, such and such, this, that, and the third, this is what they doing. It's just like, watch, hell, I gotta outdo it. Not like it's healthy competition in a
yeah,
weird way. Like,
like I was explaining to the wife. I was like, when I went to the private school, Excel Christian Academy, when I went there, kindergarten through second grade, the A the honor roll was put in the Cartersville newspaper. So the All A honor roll and the AB honor roll. Yo, we picked on kids who were on the AB honor roll, and if you didn't make it, if you like the one or two kids who didn't make a C, who like made a C, niggas is like, whoa, he's dumb. It's fucked up for what it does to what it can do to a kid's psyche. But if you take a kid, it can raise the ceiling of what they believe they can do, and also it raises their floor. Because my senior year of high school, I only took honors and AP classes all through high school. I didn't take any regular classes, bro. I took a regular class, and I was in there not doing shit. I was in there acting like the rest of my niggas in there, because I'm like, oh, bro, y'all don't pay attention and focus and do. And yeah, I was in there just being a
were you a hooligan?
yeah. I was low key. Yeah, I actually got beat up because of some shit I said in that class. I would not repeat what I said on this podcast. This was 2010. But I got beat up because of some shit I did in that class. But I understand the importance of the environment. And I understand, like, when I went to Morehouse, I'm like, man, I got the scholarship. I'm gonna do this job for 4 years, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, until it makes sense. And then when I'm done with it, I'm gonna go be a high school teacher and be a coach, and that's gonna be my life. Maybe I make AD, maybe I make vice principal, but like, I was cool with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I started looking at them. Then my friend group changed, right? And their aspirations about getting rich, doing this, doing that. And then I started I remember looking at, if I changed careers and started teaching, I was going to go to making six figures, or I could have dropped to making about 65,000 in California with those taxes. And I said,
You're saying the 65 was after the tax?
No, before the tax.
Oh, that was gonna be. You knew that was.
And I said, you know what? This teacher shit cool, but I didn't come out making this kind of money. I ain't gonna step back and make it. I don't love it that much.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dog. Like my friends like to have fun, and I want to meet them and have fun.
Yeah, I think that especially going to Morehouse, like
some of the niggas.
there was a legacy. There was a legacy there in a sense of, for me, I'm a second gen, right? Of that. There's people there I know that are third and fourth and all this other stuff.
Joe Boykin.
A lot of yeah. Well, yeah. You know, Boink's dad and my dad got to meet each other, but Boink's dad knew who my dad was because they went to school at the same time. But like I said, my dad was a basketball player. Him and Brewer were the captains. Spike, his dad's the same year as Spike and stuff.
Yep.
So it's like the same era, but they got to meet each other when Morehouse played Tech. After the game, we all got to do photos together. It was fun. Brewer.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. JP was there too. Like we had a good time at the game. And the thing was that even with Boink's people, it was funny because we didn't know how close they lived. Boink has lived close to me my entire life. They live in Southland. Southland is like 5 minutes from my dad's house. So like me and Boink, now granted, Boink went to Chamblee. Chamblee's like a STEM, like,
yeah, he was like a magnet.
A private school for public school. Boink went there. I went to Stevenson. Stevenson sucks. It just has always sucked. Like that shit sucked. Now we were football. It's a football factory. Literally, at one point, Stevenson had the most niggas in the NFL. Literally, of all the high schools in America, I think it was the 2020 or whatever year we got Mike Davis. They put the graphic up on NFL Instagram, but Stevenson had the most players that had been that were in the NFL currently. So like it's like a football factory to a degree, even though we never win state, but like that's irrelevant too, I guess. Point being, I'm not really a legacy person, but my dad in general kind of had a thing, and of course, Coach Brewer, how I know Brewer, it was one of those things where going to school there, I didn't really care to go to Morehouse. And so like the thing was, I didn't realize that I was getting myself into exactly what it is that I wanted, from a sense of, I always wanted to go, especially after going to Mount Vernon, going to private school, I wanted to go to a white school. I'm not going to lie. Like I wanted to go to a white school. I wanted to go to SEC football games. I wanted to go to Georgia. But the reality of it is that the diversity of it, excuse the way I'm putting this, the diversity of nigga at Morehouse is superior to almost anywhere in the world. And it's the only all-black middle school in the world. Now, granted, of course, there's white people that went to school there with us. Soren Ray is like one of my buddies. He's one of my guys, and he's white. He's from Romania, but like he's a white dude at the end of the day. And so, like, going there and staying was the best thing that I could have did. I'm glad I didn't leave, because I most definitely could have transferred to Georgia after my freshman year, and I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't. Like,
bro, you mean both?
Ridiculous.
I wanted to go to a school where they had football games that they cared about. South Florida was good when I was
coming out. That's where you were really about to go.
Yeah, I was really about to go there. And I was gonna try to walk on, and then I probably would have joined like Lambda Delta. Yeah, bro. I was thinking about that shit. Like I ain't even bullshitting you. And then I was considering the hell out of UGA.
I wanted to be a dog. I wanted to be a dog. I grew up such a big fan of the team. Like I was like, well, why can't I go to Georgia?
Bro, me at Tennessee Knoxville right now in grad school, it bothers me because UGA did not have a master's program that I could do from Albany. Because if they did, I would have done it. if they had a online business master's degree, I would have gotten it. Like I sit in class at UT Tennessee like all the time in like the Georgia hoodie. Like I'm not a Vols fan. I won't be a Vols fan until like they make a national championship run, and I'll be like, well, that's
Well, you'll be waiting for a minute.
exactly. But
I'll leave you with that.
But Morehouse was the place that I needed to be. It was like it is the most diverse college in the state of Georgia. I don't care what anybody says. I'm pretty sure I can pull up the numbers and give you state by state representation, but I promise you, like, bro, you go to UGA, it's Southeastern people, mainly Georgia folk. Georgia Southern, you got South Georgia folks. Georgia Tech, you got a different crowd there, but like, hey, if you black, bro, you ain't talking to all them. Tell you what, there ain't a lot of black people in that campus.
Yeah,
them niggas into some other shit we ain't into.
exactly.
Georgia State, that nigga, that's Atlanta High. But then you get to Morehouse and Spelman, bro. I remember my crew my freshman year. Dude from North Carolina, dude from Florida, dude from Decatur, East Side, nigga. You know, goddamn, Chris.
Yeah.
Dude from New York, dude from DC, dude from New Orleans, and a dude from the Valley in LA. And you go, what other college in the state of Georgia am I gonna get to? I'm the only person from Georgia, and I'm the only person from Cartersville, like on the campus.
That is one of like the better parts about it too. You didn't have to leave home to get the out of state experience because we were kind of the minority, even being the Georgia boys.
30% in state when I got there, and if you know anything about the state of Georgia, you have Atlanta, you got South Georgia, then you got North Georgia. And like in that whole, like, I don't know, formula there, you got some people from North Georgia who have an Atlanta influence, but they're not from Atlanta, so they can't claim Atlanta. You got some people northern North Georgia, they from South Tennessee. I can't speak for them people. They accent different.
Yeah.
You got like the people below Henry County. They got like a little bit of Atlanta influence, but like they just weird. They make it. Like, that's Macon, bro. Like and Macon is Macon. Like Macon got a big enough culture to be Macon.
But then it's like kind of these Metro Atlanta.
Boy, you get down here where I'm at right now, bro. Dog, they like Kodak Black and Plies.
Yeah, that's different.
They say bite. And we might say, hey, get bite. That's Florida talk.
They know how to throw a bike. That sounds that's Plies. Like,
yeah, right. Bite.
Whoa, Plies at that.
But anyways, Parlay P, that was a great conversation. Here's what I like about Cold Power, man. It's actually we just start get the riffing on shit. And we kind of just go. We actually just act like we're on the phone.
Exactly. And it's recorded though. We're on a recorded line right now.
Yeah, we don't say shit that you don't think we'd ever say, because we never say those things. Julian Turner. Correct me if Julian.
Yeah. Just make sure you get that part of it right.
But dang, man, I'm going to see you in about a week. We haven't hung out since basketball party.
Yes. You've driven up here twice, but you were doing the...
yeah.
You have that, and then you came up and you got the clothes, but you had the baby, and it was a turn and burn for that, for sure. Yeah. So I'm excited. But you get here Thursday. So are you checking in Thursday? Or Thursday.
Okay.
So I'll see you Friday.
Yeah, it's to me Friday because I'm dropping the baby off and stuff. My mom, she gets her first full weekend with her granddaughter without any parental oversight.
Yeah. No, hey.
I said, hey, just do whatever you're gonna do and change your diaper. I don't know.
It's like being a mom again.
Yeah, but I mean, she's came down here a few times and like kept her while we were at work and stuff. So
Yeah. No, I get it. I get
bro,
it.
like no, like come on, man. Here's my thing, real quick, and that should be done. My mom raised me. Who am I to tell her like what to do with the kid outside of like the little things that have changed since? Hey, we don't use baby powder no more. We use just alcohol or A. We don't use baby powder. Other than that, like
Right. That's its own thing now.
yeah, like everything else, bro. Like Gracie's Corner, throw it on the TV. Yeah. I like to eat apples and banana.
And even some of that old school stuff can come into play too, for what it's worth. You can get some of the old school stuff that works. So, like even with my daughter now, she's a little older now, but I think that like one of the things I really like doing is my daughter, she likes SpongeBob, like you know what I mean? Yeah, she does. Dora, of course. Like, but these are things, and I didn't watch Dora, but like
No, we were too old to watch Dora.
Dora came out, I was like 12, 11. But my niece did. My niece was a big Dora fan. And so that's the closest thing, I guess you could say, technically, to a daughter. Maybe I could have had growing up, but I only had one niece. Now I have a nephew, but my nephew's only 6 months older than my daughter. So, but Dora, like she's gotten advanced now to where she knows Swiper, and if I say Swiper, and then she says no swiping, like
you gotta get your posture.
Exactly. Oh. Now those losers are already out of playoffs. We're gonna get her. We'll stick to Kobe if she wants basketball. Because then I can say, you know what, he's a girl. I like play that shit. I'll be like, yeah, man, he was getting in like his daughter, and I'll just look at her.
Hey, Parlay Pete, let's cut this thing off and we can talk about Friday night next week.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Hey, AC League Parlay Pete signing off. Hey, we'll talk maybe next week, Parlay Pete.
Let's do it. Man.
Yeah, I'm looking for I went full screen and I couldn't find it in broadcast. We out of here.